Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your second episode of, and then even then it's gonna be fucking releasing like June 1st, Just welcome back to another. I'm just gonna start saying welcome back to another episode of the Gimmick. I am the very worried Canadian Nightmare, and I'm joined by El Grande, Africano. That's David put that. I did not put that. So nobody get mad at me. I'm not saying that.
I am a proud African American, and I will admit to that. But I'm going good. Again, having these earlier PLEs are just so clutch on days like this where I got home from church, I got food, I watched the PLE, and now I can do a podcast and still have my evening to myself.
Yeah, it's a double. It's the early PLE, and it's also like a short. It was under 3 hours, so that's the reverse AEW where it starts late and it's a 5 hours. It's like
2 hours if you took out all the ads.
Well, exactly right. So didn't do that today. And then S Bubs, I'm joined by
Gracias, Undertaker.
The man who everyone thinks should now start booking WWE, which is we'll talk about
it's
that.
It's the
also.
exact same thing as like Triple H. Like they see him booking a 1 hour show. And then like one like special event every month, and they're like, he's the greatest booker of all time.
I explained that to
his
Emily,
matches. Like last week, the AAA TV show had two matches. That was the entire show. But I mean, the match in the main event were like it was like the Creeds versus like Bait and Dunn, obviously all in the gimmicks, but they were having like an NXT takeover type match, just going crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was trying to explain that to Emily because we were watching the Americanos matches at breakfast, and I explained, well, the whole backstory on these two, and then I was comparing it to that era because that's when she watched wrestling the most. That was the most wrestling she watched was the black and gold era. So I'm like, yeah, that's what Undertaker is now. But people don't understand too. Like, I think there's some of that. Like, not everything that Triple H books is great on his own or the crew, right? But there's also a bunch of stuff where it's like, sure, Undertaker comes up, and what does he do? Like, they're still gonna be like, "Hey, you got to work with Travis Scott. Hey, you got to do a Pat McAfee thing." They're not gonna, and he's not gonna say like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." They're just gonna fire him, right? So when everybody thinks like, "Oh, of Undertaker," it's not
it's like, how's
as
Undertaker
simple as that.
Gonna deal with like Roman and Cody. They're deciding who they want to be in the main event of the show. Like, what's he gonna do? I mean, it's different than he's telling like Mr. Iguana he's gonna go out there work for 12 minutes on the show.
Yeah.
Who knows? But hey, who knows? Maybe there's some alternate reality where Undertaker does get that role, and he's just so scary. Like, he even just scares like the TKO members. Like, oh yeah, sure, book what. We don't need Pat this year.
There's some people on like the AAA roster who they interview. It's like, yeah, Undertaker, like he's just so intimidating. Like people just like scared to say no.
And that, like, honestly, that was. I don't know if Triple H has that. That's one of the reasons why Vince was so successful and why people were very loyal to him and why it was hard to pitch him, because they always said he was just very intimidating. It was hard to get a word in, and it would be times where you'd pitch him something, and Jericho said one time he literally sat in a room with them for 30 minutes. It was just silence. Well, Vince just thought, and he's like, I know if I say a single word, Vince is going to say no. And then he eventually said, okay, we'll do it. But like, he had that type of thing around him, right? And Undertaker is a little bit different because I don't think now, but back in the day, he was going to mess you up. But yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit of that Triple H show. I know those guys saw more of it than me. I did see the Americano matches. We're going to talk about Clash of Italy, or Italy, whatever the hell. Or Italia, as Michael Cole kept calling it during the broadcast. We're going to talk about that show. Anything else WWE related? Then we're going to get into AEW for Double or Nothing, and then kind of some fallout for like our own predictions, things like that. And yeah, we'll talk about the King of Ring and a bunch of other random topics that we haven't touched upon. And then the future, I'm not sure the next gimmick. I know GMO. I'll talk to these guys later on this week. We're going to try the next either this weekend, not this weekend because they will be gone. So one of the next 2 weekends we will try to. I think probably there'll be 1 month where we're going to do 2 because now we didn't do one May, so we're behind. So we'll try and do 2 here coming up. So look out for that. And then yeah, I'm not sure what the next big, because the Saudi show is 27th, right? What is that a show again? That's just like Crown Jewel, right?
Like Night of Champions /
Night of Champions.
Like it'll be Night of Champions, but like 2 of the matches are gonna be like the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring.
And then for what in the hell is Forbidden Door too?
Forbidden Door is like end of June, like June 28th.
Oh, yeah. They're beside each other.
Yeah.
So 27th, 28th. Okay, so
But
I
Crown
bet
Jewel
there
is
might.
since that's Saudi, that would be a like an earlier one as well. It'd be like the
Yeah.
like probably same, maybe a little earlier than today.
Yeah, so we'll see. That one we might end up doing. What we might do is maybe a prediction show before, and then maybe a review the week after, so we can just review them both. So that might be the rough schedule. As always, still go for Patreon, and we'll tell you there. But Clash in Italy, David, what do you think of the show? Obviously, 5-match card as usual. Had some title matches. I'm sure there's gonna be some controversial things that happen on the show we're gonna talk about. But what do you think about just the show overall before we go match by match?
The show overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. I mean, I cannot get past, and unfortunately, it's a gripe of mine that's going to carry over and continue to carry over. Like these, the pacing of these pay-per-views are just killed by all the ads and by seeing the same video packages 3 or 4 times throughout. So, other than that aspect of it, like if they just got the pacing issues down, I think that it was a pretty good show. Oba and Brock subverted some expectations for me, and I love the
In more
opening
ways
match.
than one.
Yeah. So, but other than that, yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah. What about you, S Bubs?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show overall. I'm trying to think. I definitely know what my favorite match was and what my least favorite one was. Just like in terms of my own reactions, like which match I was just like, kind of paying attention to it, and which one there was one match that I'll say like for me the classic of if I'm loving a match, I do the people joke about it like I just stood up, but that's literally me when I'm watching these matches and something like when it's getting to me, I'm stood up in front of my TV like the dad pose, just standing there looking at the TV. That's how I feel when I'm watching like one of these great matches. And there was one match on the show that was like that.
Okay, I'm curious to see what it was, but yeah, I think I'm similar to David, where I'm probably lower than David. But it's the same thing. It's just the pacings of the show. Nothing other than I'll say booking decisions. There's nothing egregiously bad on the show. It's just always I don't know. There's just like I can never fully get into these, and nothing. I think that also the problem is lately the setups for what's to come. Brock and Oba 3, Gunther and Cody 2 in the way, or 3 in the way we got it. Roman and Solo, which we'll get there. It's always just like some of the matches will be good or even very good, but then it's like, oh, what's coming up? It's like I don't know, and I think they need. I said this in Discord a couple weeks ago. They need something. I feel like they're very much, I won't say as bad as to say this, but they remind me very much of 2011, 2012. Because the reason I won't say as bad is because the match quality is much superior than it was back then. So you always have that. It just was like, until the pipe bomb happened, that year was just like, man, nothing's going on in WWE. They're very stale.
I'll say something about 2011. Literally just yesterday, because they announced like the Raw and SmackDown in Mexico, and they were saying like first time they've been there in like 15 years. So I was curious, like, what was the card for the for a 2011 Raw in Mexico? And the main event was like, I think it was Cena and Jim Ross versus Michael Cole and Del Rio. I think was the main event. So
that's
that.
So that's why I say it's definitely not as bad as that. It just reminds me of that era where there was just like nothing anchoring the product right now, right? And they're in a weird situation where Roman's doing his like Bloodline 2.0 stuff, but we'll get there. I think that's going a bad direction now. Cody's in this like, we'll get there, but Cody, you need to wake up, man. You need to wake the fuck up. Like you're like, I get it. He's hearing these crowd reactions, like, oh, they love me in Italy, but this stuff's gonna catch up. And I guess we can start there. Cody and Gunther. So overall, I enjoyed the show enough, didn't love it, and it's something, like I said, they just need some big angle right now to heat up the whole product, because it just feels like it's a lot of, I don't know, kind of meandering, but the match quality is always good, so that's what helps it, and they got a lot of good talented people in there, right? But you got Cody and Gunther in, I don't know, what the fuck?
I'm looking at this tournament bracket.
I just got the
I'm just
notification.
confused.
Are you fucking kidding me? Liv Morgan's in the tournament? Okay. I don't even know where to go with this fucking show now, because we get all these King of the Ring. Okay. let's say King of the Ring after. Let's let them announce everything. Let's get to the show.
I also can't even tell if these are 4-ways or if these are like 2 singles matches into a.
It looks like 4 ways to kick it
I
off.
hate when they did that, because I was so excited they did that a couple years ago, and same thing when I saw the bracket. I'm like, oh, so many one-on-one matches, and I don't hate 4 ways, but I like King of the Ring a certain way. But okay, we'll get there. Cody and Gunther. It went somewhere around 10 minutes, and then they did the two, like, exactly. I think we all kind of thought that Cody was either going to win in some screw way or some roll up, and I don't know. I just think this does nothing. It's one, I joked about this, but it's no longer a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about it, and I said, okay, who's going to main event the show? Roman not only main evented the show, that motherfucker made sure to make, at the end, talk about, fuck you, we want all that stuff. Whatever people want to think, and I'm one of the biggest Cody Rhodes fans out there, whatever you want to think, Cody has lost the battle. It's over. Roman has won the political game. He's back on top. Maybe in the future, sure, Cody might get a main event here or there, but I don't think as long as Roman has that title, Cody's seen anywhere near that main event. All the he has no Roman has no reason to be taking shots at Cody at the end of the show here right now. They're not setting up anything. That match isn't happening. A bunch of people said, yeah, they don't want to do that match because they can't work together and figure out the finish, right? But what I just mean, okay, so you got to ignore that. Whatever. Even if they say, hey, for the next year, Roman's on top. You're disheveled a little bit. Make your stuff great or fight for it to be great. And I liked the Cody Gunther match, but it was a little odd pacing where they're doing like the build up to the wrestling, and then they did the same thing they did with Cody and CM Mania. They went right to finishers, and it was still good back and forth. And then they did Cody gets the win on Gunther has his foot on the ropes. And as we talked about, I just feel like this was building really not to much because Gunther's been on this roll, beating big superstars, doing the Creed Killer. And like I said, when they did that with Brock Lesnar in 20 whenever, when the streak ended, they put the title on him. I think Cody should have lost the title here. I know it's going to be the Drew McIntyre thing. Well, they'll do some rematch and he'll lose it eventually. But I just think that it doesn't help anybody. To me, if I'm Cody, I'd much rather go out there and say, hey, give us a long time, let me lose the title, and we'll figure it out after. There's sometimes I do worry that Cody's like a bit of a belt mark, and he just wants that title. He just has to have it there. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think that for his creative, this doesn't lead to anything that exciting. It's what we've seen before. Gunther's going to complain. You get your rematch, and they're just going to run back what him and Drew did. And the problem with that is it was just Cody winning a bunch until the end, and then he won again. So I liked the match, but it didn't end up being as special as I thought it could have been because I love the Cody Gunther pairing in the Rumble at Crown or whatever Night Champions when they did that the first time, and even at the end sequence when they were chopping and clotheslining. That's a WrestleMania main event. Like, they have good chemistry. They have something about them. So that's why just let them go. Don't do these screwy finishes. Even if Cody loses in this big crowd, it's not going to be a big deal. So I thought the match was good, but they kind of stopped it from being great. But I suppose, what do you think about Cody and Gunther in this match and the future of these two?
I definitely agree with you. Like, when they were working in there, I was really enjoying, like, their chemistry and stuff like that. Yeah, like you said, like, spot where they were doing the chops into the clotheslines was really good stuff. And they did, like, the same finish as Crown Jewel, like, with him, like, rolling up Gunther, but then Gunther kicked out at, like, 1 or something. So it was like he knew it was coming. But, yeah, it was definitely, like, kind of like an abrupt finish. Like, I could tell what they were going for, but I still feel like they did it in just, like, the worst possible way. Like, I feel like, because they did think of, like, his leg being under the rope and then the referee, like, not seeing it. But I feel like if you had done the same thing, but, like, just actually put his foot on the rope and then, like, the ref still sees it, I feel like that's more clear than, like, his foot being under the rope. Like, that can lead to being more blatantly like, oh, the ref didn't see it. Like, his foot on the rope, like, I feel like there's a couple times where, like, the foot being under the rope never matters unless it's, like, gonna be for a story. Because a lot of people lose with, like, their foot under the ropes and they don't point it out.
And it's weird, too, because then, like, right, I think they tried to do this to make it seem like, oh, the ref didn't see it, but then right as the 3 count happens, Gunther, like, moves his foot out of the way. So it's like, okay, I guess it was
Cody,
there, but...
like, I think it was, like, Cody, like, pulling him up.
Yeah, okay, so maybe that was it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if this was needed here at that point, and I just feel like it cools down Gunther a lot. And I think it's going to be just like what Drew. Sure, he'll win the title, but when Drew won the title, everybody kind of had that feeling of like, all right, a little too late here. But David, how do you see it going down?
I thought the match itself was great. They have amazing chemistry, but I will say that, yeah, that was the second sloppiest leg rope thing that we had that night. And it just, I don't know, something about it just didn't vibe with me.
Which is crazy. They did those spots back to back, like the leg rope being a controversial part of the match. It's crazy, especially this. Like, there's only 5 matches. The agents aren't talking together and be like, well, could we at least do something else? But no.
Yeah, and you know what? And then Cody, like, picking him up, like, on the 3 to pull his leg back. I'm like, if you're going to have the spot, then just leave his leg there. Let that controversy sit. But yeah, to Espub's point, it's crazy how that's not a thing until they need it to be a thing. Because, I mean, you can go back to many matches where someone's leg is underneath the rope and no one cares or says anything. So it's not a controversy until they need it to be. And so, but other than the ending, I think they had a great match. I would have liked Gunther to walk away with this. I think he needed it more. My prediction is he's going to go from here and maybe then go on to win King of the Ring. But yeah, I think that he needed it more. I think him having the belt, walking out of here, walking out of Italy with that would have been a much bigger deal.
And that's the thing too. Like, to me, that's the time. I know some people might go against me and say, "Oh, well, Cody's getting cheered a lot in that match. Why would you take it off him?" That to me is the time to do it, because I think there's nothing worse than when he's getting booed and he loses it and the crowd cheers. It's like, "Oh yeah, we love seeing him lose." This would be oh, he was the champion. And even though lots of people are cheering for Gunther, it's like, no, that's the perfect time, because then other people home will be like, "Oh man, he lost," and people were really upset. Like, I want to cheer for him. But no, he's just doing things. So we'll see. I just feel like now Gunther and Cody are going to be. Man, I feel like we'll see what happens with Night of Champions. We'll get there. But I just feel like they could be locked until SummerSlam. And I don't know. I really don't know. I was really hoping when Michael Cole mentioned the whole punt thing again, I thought, okay, they're setting us up. Cody's going to get that win, and then Randy's going to come in RKO. And nothing. Randy's just still chilling. I guess the word is that he is, injured and everything.
Yeah.
So
I feel like with the Cody Gunther stuff, it definitely could go all the way to SummerSlam. And I also feel like they might put Sammy in the mix to stretch it out till SummerSlam, because that's been the thing too. Because he helped he turned heel on Cody, and it was like, oh, I wanted to teach you a lesson and stuff. And backstage they've still been interacting. I feel like maybe in Saudi they do a 3-way with Sammy in there.
Yeah, always using Sammy's the Saudi Buffalo match, even though the Drew one didn't do much, but still you got to use it. I guess on the post show, Cody Rhodes addresses Roman Reigns. I think it's a unique position to be in for me to say something negative, or for him to say something negative about me. It's for the simple fact that he doesn't have 2 wins over me. I don't have 2 wins over him. He beat me once. I beat his ass once. So I don't know. Add him to the list because we said Gunther can have a rematch whenever. It's easy to find, hard to beat. That goes for Roman too. I hate that answer though. I hate I get what he's doing in kayfabe, but well, I think it's a unique position for him to say something unique about, no, man, where's that fucking guy on the Elite? Where's that guy? Where's the Roman Reigns guy? Where is he? Where is he? This is stuff that you're getting out-meated right now by this guy. I don't always say anything negative about me. It's no, not the make some crack, do something. But I know at WrestleMania season he said that he's well, I'm not in that program, so I just don't really want to get involved. It's no, man, it's just do something. You're getting beat up here. Do anything here. But nah.
I need old school Cody, who would have come out with his shirt on that had the OTC crossed out with his QB1 over it. Just something to blatantly give a big middle finger.
Because that's what, and even if it's a work shoot, that's what was great about Brett and Sean. Now, obviously, that went really bad because it led to them really fucking hating each other. But they'd constantly be taking shots at each other when they were not working each other one iota. It would just be on the way to Brett versus Stone Cold, and Brett's just gonna say some bad thing about Sean and then move on to his program. Because that would be cool. If it does ever happen, Cody and Roman, then it feels like it's building. It feels like Roman is building this feud up, but Cody is not. And I do feel like that's because Cody would lose. He's trying to put fire over put the fire out. No. There's no reason.
He's trying to stay away from this feud. He goes, let's not make this a thing because I don't want to lose.
Yeah. I was Roman wants both titles again.
He does. He's gonna go King of Ring. Watch. He's gonna take one of the spots and everything. So yeah, we'll see. And again, I like Cody and Gunther. They got good chemistry. I just think you could still hot potato it, even if that's the plan. If you want Cody going forward, and let's say, hey, you guys are gonna work together from now until SummerSlam. Have Gunther win it here, do one more rematch that's iffy, and then at SummerSlam he gets it back. That's completely fine. We just talked about with Darby, right? That worked, the hot potato. Gunther can lose it, or even then have Gunther lose it in that Sammy 3-way. That would be perfect, right? What if they do that and Gunther has the title and Cody pins Sammy? One that adds to Sammy's story of, man, you really suck because you got pinned and it wasn't even your title, and Gunther can say, well, I never lost that title, right? There's so many ways around it, but it's just they're gonna do the Cody Drew thing, so we got that going on. And then we got Rhea versus Jade, who again, Jade's found her like wrestling soulmate there, continues. It's just like Mania. They had a better match than Mania. They had more time. Luckily, I was really worried the interference wasn't as bad as Mania where it took over the whole match. But I just feel like every time they have it in there, like, okay, in case Jade's not doing good, like, send Meacham and BFAB out there, you know? And which was funny because BFAB had the bigger botch. I think she probably just mistimed or misheard, like, the ref count because she looked like she was waiting for a 2, but the 2 had already passed. And then it was like, oh, shit.
also, I feel like Jade's leg was, like, kind of too far. Like, by the time the ref got to like 3, by the time the ref got to 3, like BFAB wasn't even like close to like being able to grab like Jade's leg. So, I mean, I don't think it was just the because Jade was like
I'm
like
not saying punish her
diagonal,
because of I'm not saying put her on NXT because of that. It's just like it's one of those moments. It's like the Nia Tiffy thing, right, with the 3 counts. Like, oh, that just sucks, and it'll be on some reels. But no, they had another really good match. I think it's one of these things that, again, I think because she does a lot of storyline stuff multiple times in her career, people forget Rhea Ripley is just a fucking great worker. Like that's the thing people always, I feel like now, especially because the mommy thing and her sex appeal, they really discount that. But she can go in there. I'm not saying this was match year, but I'm saying like if you were to say, hey, in the future, Rhea Ripley's going to have a match to your contender. I would never... She fucking did at WrestleMania a couple years ago. Like, it's never blink an eye, but I feel like people in the online community, maybe if they feel she gets overhyped, just kind of forget that. But it's like, no, like, she is that worker now. She is what Charlotte Flair was 5 years ago. What Charlotte did for her at Mania, she can do that for other people now. And that's where with Jade, with other people, it's all right. But I think this is mostly the end of it. I could see, and I haven't seen the brackets yet, so don't tell me.
Also, seeing the brackets and like what happened this match, I kind of feel like I think next thing is like, well, I mean, we can sort of go.
We can do the women's bracket because the IC title's not going to be involved in that at all. So yeah, make your point, and then I'll bring up the whole bracket.
Yeah. So I saw for one of the brackets because my theory was that like the Queen of Ring finals was going to be like Charlotte and Jade.
I
but
agree with you 100%.
But they're starting off in the same like bracket.
In the same. Yeah.
4-way.
Are they in the same fate of 4-way as well?
Yeah. So what I think, I mean, I think the end goal is like Charlotte like winning Queen of the Ring, but I feel like Charlotte and Jade can be like, I feel like that's also obviously they've been building to it like. That was really the first thing they built to since like when Jade signed to WWE. That was like literally the first thing they did.
That's the only thing, because, like, okay, so we'll go over the 4-ways, and then we'll go, sorry, Dave, say anything on the match of Rhea, and same thing, I suppose, I guess, before we continue on the actual match that they had.
I mean, this was the one match that I kind of went back and forth on who was going to win with this, because I was like, can Jade suffer another big loss on the stage? But her and Rhea together are just amazing, great use of both of their skill sets, and Jade actually got a little bit more time to shine, which kind of shocked me out the gate, where she was just doing move after move, and I was like, oh, they're letting Jade do the damn thing. But yeah,
I was worried though, because it was straight offense. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like a squash comeback match where Jade like has 95%, Rhea hits a riptide, and it's over.
18 minutes or something like that.
It was
long. It was long, but no, I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. I'd have to think, because I did like their Mania match, even, like, I felt like that was probably the one Mania match that actually was, like, the correct length, where they were just kind of doing spots and going through it quickly. But I thought this match was really good, especially they were, like, working over Rhea, like, the back is with, like, some spots on the floor and stuff like that. And eventually they did get into that rhythm of, you know, doing all the big moves, and even with the interference and stuff like that, I thought it, like, built to the whole match and ended where it needed to be, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the brackets here. So we got all 4-ways, then 1-on-1. So this is for the women's. We got Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez versus JC Jane versus Kiana James. I feel like that's what JC's
going through.
Yeah.
Probably pinning Bayley.
Yeah, I could see that. And then we got Lash Legend, Julia, Io Sky, and Roxanne Perez.
I feel like Io's going.
I feel like Io, because like my mind was, I feel like it's probably gonna be Io and Charlotte in the final.
Because I feel like that also feels like they could be like they both have stories with like Rhea, and it's like, oh, who's gonna be the one?
I could also see them given this Jane as a test of her not winning, but like, hey, we're gonna put her in the finals with
Yeah.
Charlotte and let's
It's
see
like the
how she does.
Lyra one where Lyra went like
Yes.
all the way in like the first few months of being called up.
So I'm kind of
I feel like the
iffy on
winner
who-
for me, like I would lock in like Charlotte winning the whole thing.
Oh,
for
I
me.
would. I'm iffy on who is
Yeah.
gonna be in the finals with her. That's where I'm just like, is it Jane or Io? And I'm gonna change my mind. I actually think Jane's gonna beat Io. I think they're gonna go Charlotte and Jane, and then because I feel like there's also more question of who could win that match, because you could see them maybe go, oh, they might give it to Jane just as like to rocket her. Where I feel like with Charlotte and Io, I feel like we all kind of feel like Charlotte's gonna get the win.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, who you got taking that top one there?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Like I when I first saw it, I had Io Sky advancing to the finals, but then I'm like, man, they are gonna like that JC Jane rocket is still going pretty hot right now. So I could see it being her against an established Charlotte. If she has a good match against Charlotte, that is pretty much, them continuing that high descent that they'll want to have her face off of one of these, high end people. And
Yeah.
I think Charlotte's the best person for that.
And then we got Jade Cargill, a classic like AEW move. Like she's the new she's their Brody King. Like Brody King keeps losing all these title matches. Like, you know what? Here's another opportunity. Jade Cargill just like I'll break down the kayfabe thing, what I hate about these brackets in a second. But she just lost, but she's back in. Okay, you got Charlotte Flair, Lyra Valkyria, and Sol Ruka. That could be the best four-way of the bunch, though. Those like. That's a
Yeah.
really good mix
There
of
are
Charlotte's a
always like
specialist,
all these
you know?
four ways. There's always ones that like. There's always like one really good one.
I think
Last
it's gonna be
year-
this one.
Yeah,
in
last
my
year the
opinion.
really good one was Rhea, Liv, Roxanne, and Kyrie. Was like
I
a
remember
really
that. I
good
actually
one.
watched that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
there was a
then-
crazy the men's one. It wasn't like that good, but it was just like crazy matchmaking. Was it like it was like Randy, LA Knight, Andrade, and Aleister Black, I think it
Yeah,
was, which
something
was just
like
like a
that.
crazy, just like a very random pair of. And I don't think it was even that good, but that one just like stuck out to me as a memorable one.
And then we got for the final four here, we got Chelsea Green, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Liv Morgan. Now, before we go on
Truly
kayfabe in
the B champion. If you're going to
Liv Morgan
with,
on the post show says it
I
had me
feel like I
thinking.
know. Yeah. Oh, you
All
go,
these
you go.
people say Liv Morgan isn't worthy of being champion. You know what that made me think? That made me think I'm entering the Queen of the Ring tournament because I won all. The story for WrestleMania season was she won the Royal Rumble for the first time ever. She was the runner-up 2 times, and then the year before that she was in the Final Four, lost, right? So the story, she could always get the Final Four, Final 2, lose. She gets that. And it's like, can she actually win the big moment at WrestleMania, prove she's a single star? She gets that. And now the story is, well, I need to prove myself again. This, again, just like Jade Cargill is the Brody King AEW, she is the fucking Will Nightingale. Will Nightingale, same thing. When's she going to win this title? We all knew, okay, she's going to have this big moment. She's going to beat Mercedes. That's how they crown her, right? And then after that, it was this weird, wonky, the comeback killer and the tag titles, and now, unfortunately, she's injured, so it just sucked. This run, and I get it. I don't actually get it. Stephanie got hurt. I understand. That was the program where they're going. They have dozens of women on this roster she could be working a program with. Heat somebody up. Please, anyway, even if there's someone on SmackDown, throw them over. Have somebody just get a win on Roxanne, get a win on Raquel, and like send Julia over there and just have her steamroll people. Where the hell is she injured? Is Jordan Grace injured? Why is she not on this tournament?
She's just like on main event every week.
So, like, and here's the problem I have, and I know David has a big problem with this, with the ROH and stuff. I hate, you got Sol Ruka and Liv Morgan in here. You have two, because at least Tiffany's not here. You have Sol Ruka, who's just won her IC title. Now already it's like, well, I'm going after the women's title. And Liv Morgan, that reminds me of the year that Charlotte Flair went into the Royal Rumble as the women's champion. And it's just like,
That's what I was gonna say. Or like when Brock went into the Rumble as the
yes.
WWE champion.
And like you said, it just right away established, Liv Morgan. Already it felt like that in this run and this reign. It's felt like her being in the crowd and on the post, like her being on the pre-show, being an analyst while she's the women's world champion. What the fuck we doing here? Like, they're just like, now that whole thing, like, Liv's going to get her moment. She ain't getting anything. It's going to be such an unmemorable reign. I feel like by SummerSlam, they're even before that, could take it off her. So I hate Sol Ruka in this. As a wrestler, it's great, but I hate her in there. I hate Liv Morgan. Like, I hate the other champions going for other titles, right? Of like, same thing we talk about Kevin Knight. Oh, I won this TNT title. Now I'm coming for you, Darby. No, man, you just won this title. Like, defend it once before you want to talk about being the world champion. Like, they have so many women. Like, Jordan Grace could be in Sol Ruka's spot. Liv Morgan, I'm not sure who else could be, but I'm sure there's somebody. Give it to an NXT mystery people. Get Tatum Paxley in there. Like, get to Blake fucking Monroe. Like, what's going on? And maybe B-Fab was in there, but she screwed up the leg botch. And they're like, no, but B-Fab and Meacham, like, it's just like, it just head scratching to me. It just annoys me so much, you know? I never do that in my GM mode, but so yeah, we all think Charlotte Flair, and so I'm gonna say my official prediction: Charlotte Flair, JC Jane, Charlotte gets a win. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I agree.
Out of these 4 brackets, the one I'm most curious about is like that top left one, because I don't think any of those people are gonna win, but I don't even know who would. I honestly think there's a chance for that top left one that like Chelsea goes through just to like.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna run
right
back
now
Becky and Charlotte
because they're turning her face right now, like Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. True.
So I mean, it could be.
But
Becky.
then does she go up against
like,
does she go up against a face Charlotte though?
Yeah, I don't know, or just to show like her spirit. You know, she has a good match with Charlotte and loses, but it's like, oh, she fought like she went toe to toe with Charlotte for 12 minutes, you know.
I would be so down if that was the story where Chelsea gets like even like a cheap victory in the Fatal 4-Way, but then she breaks out like the Penta Wrestling Chelsea Green against Charlotte, and they go out there have like a fucking 4-star. They're like, you girls got 20 to 25 minutes.
Coast to coast again. That she does like once.
We get Lucha Underground Chelsea just coming in here, just doing it.
Yeah, and then even if she loses, it's like, wow, Chelsea Green could really go. So I'll buy if that's a scenario, then I could buy that. But I'm still gonna say it's gonna be Charlotte and Becky. They just did like a Rivals episode at 80 or something like, and they haven't really done Charlotte and Becky in quite a while. So I think that they're gonna go
since
that.
since Charlotte has like turned face and Becky's heel.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be Charlotte Becky, and then Charlotte gets the win there. But all of us are in the Charlotte's winning camp.
Yeah, especially like Queen of the Ring, and like you have to give it to the Queen at least.
The shirt's
once.
right there. the shirt, the merch is all right there, and Rhea and Charlotte honestly will be super interesting because I hope, please God, WWE, please just work it as a babyface match. You screwed up Cody and Cena, screwed up Cody and Randy, just have
like
it.
SmackDown before SummerSlam, like Charlotte turns heel on
with
Rhea.
Pat McAfee, or who's the most famous? Who's the host of like Call Her Daddy or whatever? Right? Most famous women podcaster, like or they'll get fucking Steph. They'll get Steph because she has the WWE podcast, you know. But that's what I mean, like. Don't be afraid to run babyface and babyface. Like, and Rhea and Charlotte is babyface. That's a super interesting matchup. But like, okay, how they wrestle. Even if you start to turn someone heel in the match, that's fine. But like, the lead up does not have to be, oh, I'm going for 16 or whatever, or because we know Rhea's not turn heel. But so there you go. That's the win. We'll get to the men's one in just a second here. And man, so me and Esbubs talked about this last stuff. So they're like, oh, what's going on with Brock Lesnar? I said on Mania. I said last week. I didn't believe for a second this fucking guy was retired. They're paying him too much. Brock would.
But they kept saying he was retired, like as he's making his interest, like, oh, the most dangerous retired man in the world. I'm like,
that's not how it works.
He's right here.
And people are like giving the clips of WrestleMania, like, oh, Paul Heyman's crying. The guy was fucking gouging his eyes out, and then he was crying. Like, so, and it's just like I think it's just because the Brock Lesnar thing, it was just too good to be true. Of like. Both things, that he was gone because I don't think they need him with Oba, Braun, and other people, and just to give him Oba the straight up win, and we move on. I was barely interested in Brock and Oba to begin with, but I understand from the GA and the mainstream point of view of you give Oba this big winning establishment. So I understand that completely. Brock stuff aside, sure. In story, it makes sense. That I was at least invested in. Now I'm not invested in the. Brock did this with Triple H. He did this with Undertaker when he came back. He did this with Cody. I'm sure there's somebody else I'm missing. And now he's doing it with Oba, where it's this Brock or whoever wins, like the trade-off, the 50-50. And then at the end, what's going to fucking happen is Oba and him are going to shake hands. Like, you're the real beast now. You're the real, like, no, like we don't, like WrestleMania, that was the perfect scenario. I'd be fine, not fine, but if you had to bring Brock back, then like pair him with someone else, do something else. So, I didn't care about this at all, and I don't think what WWE tries to sell, like, oh man, Oba took 7 F5s and he kicked out. That's what it took to put him down. You know the verse of that
he had to beat the Roman Reigns 6. Like it took 6 to put down Roman Reigns, so he had to beat that so he can still be the bad, and they even said afterwards, like, "Oh, this proves that it took 7 F5s and how bad of a man Femi is." I'm like, I don't know what you guys are doing here.
Because the reverse of that is he just got his ass kicked. He like Oba hit like a couple moves, and that was it. Like he got people have the guys of the gaze of the Brock Lesnar match of the finishers and the table spots and whatnot, and Suplex City. But really, Brock just went in there and kind of squashed him a little bit, you know. And I get it; they have these matches, but it does nothing for Oba. What did something for Oba was WrestleMania, and you move on. But they just can't help themselves. And again, because I don't buy that they're making Oba the champion. Is Oba in the King of the Ring?
Yeah, he's in one of the brackets. So I feel
Which
like
is tough
that could be
you
a
get
Brock like run in.
Yeah,
well, I'll say again, like I don't think they're gonna do like Oba Brock 3 at SummerSlam. I feel like Oba. What I think they're gonna do is they do 3 in Saudi because Saudi love Brock, and then after that Brock will be like you said, like shake hands and he'll be like, oh, he's a face now, and then for SummerSlam Minnesota he'll face like Gunther and be like the face.
But then you were on the cap that you thought Cody and Cody and Gunther go to SummerSlam.
I don't know. I mean, they could also like for the WWE title, like it's changed hands on SmackDown like this year now like 2 times. They could just do like a Cody Gunther on SmackDown and Gunther wins. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say my thought is I don't think Oba Brock 3 is at SummerSlam is what I think.
Really? Okay. I'm 50-50 on it. I guess either way, my point is we'll see what happens here. I just don't buy like everyone else that everyone thinks that Oba's winning the title at SummerSlam. I don't buy that. I don't think
it's happening anymore.
But everyone after Mania was like that.
Yeah.
Because the rumor was, remember, Roman has a summer plan, and everyone was like, "Oh, that means he'll drop to like Oba at SummerSlam." No, it doesn't. It also means he could take a month off or something. Like I don't think Oba is winning a world title at SummerSlam, barring a big injury. If Cody or Roman go down, then obviously that changes this discussion. But if everything's the way it is now, I don't see Oba doing that. So I hope you're right, but at the same time, I could still see them stretching Oba and Gunther to SummerSlam, because if Cody and Gunther's at SummerSlam, then I really don't know. And maybe I'm just going to bring up the men's bracket because then we're talking about this right now.
Looking at the men's bracket, I feel like the other option for Roman is you just have Seth just like go all the way, and it's Roman Seth at SummerSlam.
That's at SummerSlam. Oh, right, because that's the one. Yeah, well, it's better than your fucking scary option that you hit me with. But anyway, so we have Penta, Obafemi, Sol
he's actually in
Sikoa.
there. I didn't know
He
he actually
is.
was.
Carmella Hayes, that's an interesting pairing. Then you got Dom Mysterio, Braun Breaker. Trick, what the fuck is this match? Dom Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Damian Priest. Wow, that's an interesting.
And Damian Priest's render looks like they just took a random picture of him backstage.
I think that's
you got a moment?
just him with like the tag titles with Truth, just like a happy render.
And then you got Jey Uso versus LA Knight. Jey Uso and LA Knight always stuck in these 4-ways together. LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor. And then you got Seth
Finn
Rollins.
Balor's on SmackDown. That's apparently new. Just
That's new. It happened on the Road Show. Yeah. Seth Rollins versus Javon Evans versus Tama Tonga,
that's
right?
Tala Tonga.
That's Tala.
God, what are we doing here? Like they're giving like a mini push to Tama. He's like versus Shinsuke, like, but it's Tala. Like you're telling me I'm supposed to believe that Tala. I not only believe Tama, but you're going to tell me that Tala Tonga, who's really done nothing, is in the King of the Tournament.
Who's beaten Tala Tonga? You know, he just beats everyone.
Who has he beaten? That's like of no. And then Ricky Saints.
He beat Damian Priest. You know, he's also.
That's great. Not as great as the women's. We have. We got Penta and we got Finn, so we have not Finn. I for some reason thought he was the fucking IC champ. Never mind, I'm completely wrong. So we got Penta.
Trick.
Trick. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you got same thing. You got Penta and Trick going for different titles. Again, they got dozens of guys here.
I mean, Penta at least that one kind of makes sense to me. Like he's defended his IC title like 10 times at this point. So
sure, I still don't like it, but sure, Trick not as much. Yeah, this one's tough. I could. Go ahead, Dave.
But you're looking at it, you got a U.S. champ, an IC champ, a tag champ, AAA mega champ, all on one side of this. And then the other side, you just have random bros.
Yeah. David, how do you see this shaking out? What do you think out of these brackets are the finals and then the winner?
That one's going to be hard. So I am going to. Let's see. I would have Rollins, probably Royce Keys, because Scott. They're not doing anything with LA Knight. We know they're not. So
He might get the win here, though. They like to give him those, like, give him to the
He could
semi,
beat
like,
Jay, and that's
yeah,
like
and then
the
they can
story
add
of
on
him
that
going
feud,
for the
right?
bloodline.
I could see Breaker and Obafemi going in on their side of the bracket. Breaker just because help get him out of tag team purgatory right now. Even though he is a champ, he's in tag team purgatory. That man needs to be a single
It's
star.
I can't believe that, man. He's sitting front row of fucking Austin Theory that he didn't win.
doing the stand and wave. Yeah,
Who did he piss off backstage? Who did he piss off between Rumble and now? Like, what happened? Who did he say something? But yeah, continue on.
So I pretty much have Oba probably taking all of this.
Really? So you're still on the bandwagon that Oba's going to SummerSlam challenging for a title?
Yeah, I would see them doing Oba versus probably Royce Keys.
Wow, that's a big one. And then Oba, and then what? You think would Oba? He's going for Roman, or are you going for Cody?
I think they go for the person on their brand. So it'd be
It doesn't
Roman.
matter. They can change that rule as much as
I
they want.
I
right?
would
They're like,
say
I'm going to SmackDown. Right?
if I were Oba and if I were writing this, if I was writing this with sense. Let me say that. If I was writing this with sense, I would say Oba goes after Cody because they never got to finish their match at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, and Roman's gonna be like, yeah, I'll work with him when I can beat him, but not right now. But even then, like same thing with Liv Morgan. So what if she wins? Because she's on Raw, is she just not supposed to get any title match? She just wins the tournament and that's it.
She gets a hat.
Right? So that's what I mean. Like they'll just change the rules where okay, she wins, she'll go to SmackDown first, Rhea Ripley, and there we go. I guess with Oba, because I'm with that. I think Brock will screw Oba because he had that weird comment. And he's like 1 + 1 = it's over, bitch. And it's like, what does that even mean? Like, no, that means you're tied up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But it's just a question of Oba going to get screwed in the 4-way or the 1-on-1. I could see them teasing the juicy Oba versus Braun Breaker on Raw main event. And because it's WWE, that's the type of finish they give us as Brock coming in. So because they still haven't really ended the feud, I think they're going to go Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. I think they're going to do that.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's like the feud ender. And as far as the winner,
that's not a bad look.
Yeah, and as far as the winner, I could go either way.
Be Rollins.
It could be Rollins. I think Rollins still might be the reason I don't think it will be, if Roman does hold his title to me, which I think is happening, I think he could be the Dwayne's not going to do it. Seth will do Roman, like the match they've had planned multiple times at WrestleMania. So I still think they might hold Seth off of just in case we need Raw. But then at the same time, it's like then when do you do that matchup, right? So I could go either way on that one. And yeah, Breaker, again, at that list of people he was going to work with was not on that list. So I'm going to lean to Rollins, but I wouldn't be surprised if Breaker gets the win there. And then, yeah, get Bronson Reed back and put the tag title on him. No offense to Bronson Reed, but like Braun should not be doing that. You know, like man. But Espos, how do you see it shaking out here?
Yeah, like I said, I think I could definitely see Rollins versus someone, likely Breaker, I would say. As for like the individual brackets, like I said, that bottom right one, I mean, honestly, with Rollins going through, I do think it's LA Knight, because I don't know if they would have just like, I mean, if you have Keys go through, I don't know if like, because Keys, it's not like he's getting like super pushed or anything, but I also don't think he just like loses to Rollins, just like, they're not even like on the same show and they're not going to feud anytime soon. Like, Rollins and Knight kind of still related and like wanting to go for Roman and stuff like that, so to me, that side makes sense. On the left side, I mean, if Brock is gonna like take out Oba or something, then, I mean, I don't know. It could be honestly any of the 3 other guys to lose to Breaker. So I don't think. So for a prediction, I'll just say Solo, just to have him go through one, and it's like, oh, he could be going after Roman. He made it through the first round, but yeah. And then Breaker, bottom left, I think that works out. Rollins, Braun, final match in the tournament. I think that makes sense for what they're going for.
and then they end the what is it, the Vision feud, and they can move on from that. And then my big worry though is if Rollins wins, then Braun really just becomes like a tag guy for a bit, and that they're gonna have to reheat them all up, and no dogs are gonna be barking. That's gonna be bad. But yeah, and it's not the next match, but we'll just talk about because it's tied in this. We got Roman and Jacob. This is what I mean. This is where I am with WWE, where I enjoyed the match, good match. I've enjoyed the story as far as Jacob Roman from what I've seen. I enjoy the idea of, okay, it's going to be, if you lose, you got to acknowledge me at the end. Jacob's walking with him, But, and yeah, solid, good, like, match. I don't know what the idea is. Like, I don't ever want to see Tribal Combat like title again. They got to do something special or different with that title. It's just a no DQ match. That's all it is. Like it's just a weird sort of thing. It just because I was like, oh, they got to do something fun with this. They don't. So they have this good match. I'm like, okay, let's see the story goes next. And then in the fucking crowd, there's Solo. So this is what I mean. I really enjoy this match, but then what the pay-per-view leaves me with it is like a super sour taste in my mouth because I was one saying, okay, Roman's gonna redo the Bloodline stuff, right? But what I meant was just get him, Jimmy, and Jay back together and run through new characters. If they're just going to do him versus the NFTs or even Solo again, then that's where I don't think people ever really turn on Roman, but a lot of people could check out because that to me is, it's not like, it'd be different if Solo was a very popular act or getting lots of wins. Solo's like a upper mid-carder at best. I'm being nice, at best. I think he's just a solid, just like a mid-card guy now. And he has no reason to be there.
He
so
doesn't
this
even
just
wrestle that much. He just kind of, like, there's times where Solo, like, in this same character, he'll be wrestling all the time, but now he's just, like, at ringside, just, like, watching his guys wrestle out there.
Like,
I can't, like, I'm trying to think what his last singles match was.
I don't know. When I saw him, you guys know that clip from Key and Peele where he's a substitute and he clears off the desk. He's like, son of a bitch. That's what I thought when he turns and he sees Solo. First thing out of my mind is son of a bitch.
And I was this dramatic like pan on Roman's. It's like, no man, like Roman, the whole clip, like I know how to cook it up. That's not. You're burning the fucking meal, man. Like, and that was one of the low points. And that's where again I was. Myself and so many people, even after the Bloodline and in Roman, it was like variations of the Bloodline feels like K. That was the tip of the top. Was when it was Jacob versus Solo. That was the K. We've really run our course. We need to move on, and we're circling back to Jacob and Solo. We're circling back to Solo and Roman. This is stuff. If we get a Solo and Roman main event pay-per-view, I'm sorry, I'm not watching that shit. I will be on the review. I will go do something else. I have no interest at all, and I don't even dislike both these guys. Like, yeah, I need like some huge stip then. Like, I need a fucking Inferno match or something because there's no interest whatsoever in reheating Solo up for this. So I really hope it was more so just like a tease for he's in the King of Ring, does some segments, but at any point, if this leads to, I don't care what it is, even if it's Saturday night's main event, the only thing I'll accept is like a Raw main event. That's fine, because I don't need to watch that shit. But if there's any special event or PLE that has that, no, man, that's not working for me. But Roman Jacob, good chemistry, and I'm excited to see what would happen with Jacob in the group. That is intriguing. It's not like me doing backflips, but
is he actually going to join the group, do you think? Or is he just
I mean, he's falling behind him, and when Roman Reigns was doing his post talk, he was in the back as Jay was yelling at him some more, and he's supposed to acknowledge him on tomorrow, so we'll see.
I think it could be like for a couple weeks, and then I really worry that like we could get Roman and Jacob
Jimmy and
Roman
Jay
just wins
joining
again.
his side, turning heel on Roman.
I would be I would be semi fine with that, but yeah, I don't know, man. That stuff where it's just, I think if you look at both title programs, what's going on with Cody and Gunther, that could be really predictable. And if we go back to MFTs versus Bloodline, we got some nightmare fuel potential storylines coming our way. Like we need. I don't know what needs to happen, but we need some sort of shakeup because that can't be it. And Roman, you're a madman. Roman, you need to lose the title at SummerSlam. If he's pitching, working solo again, no, man, that can't be. There's no. I can't believe he's okaying that. I hope it's just, yeah, give him a show off. He's gonna be in King of the Ring, sure. But if they wrestle, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't understand it. So I miss CM Punk in that retrospect. And then after, or before that, we had got Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruca. Very good match, fun match. Sol's always a good time. Becky's good in the ring. What I hope this is, I just hope this doesn't lead to Sol has it for a little bit, and then Becky wins it back. Here's my hot take, and I know this is a gross take. This, not even gross, like offensive, just like a gross take as a wrestling fan. I think in WWE, I said, if Jade Cargill's the version of Brody King, and who's the other Liv Morgan's Will Nightingale, she's a better wrestler, and it's not as bad. But this current run since she's been back, Becky Lynch.
I knew you were
do you know where I'm going?
Jericho.
Becky Lynch is the WWE Jericho. What Jericho had the ROH title. This is that, and it's just it sucks with Becky to me. Obviously, for women's, maybe overall, but for sure, women's an all-timer. Maybe you could argue. I would never argue number one, but still, you could make that argument, right? Every time she's on TV, man, she has like go away heat with me. Like I have no interest. And the thing is, the match that she's in the ring, that's good. Like the Horn Soul stuff was good. I'm with S Bubs where the story to me they need someone here up. Legitimately, a month or two program with Jessica Carr. That'll be way more interesting than anything she's doing here because I just can't believe it's what she did with Lyra. It's what she did with AJ of you lose the first one and then Becky, I'm on the man top. And nothing's happened. Lyra's nothing. AJ fucked off. I think she's never coming back. That didn't work out at all. I'm pissed about that. And now Soul, it's like, we're going to build her up. But I feel like, I'm going to be at SummerSlam watching Becky hold up that title again. Like, I don't know. Becky, it's like Jericho where for me it's stale and it's go away stuff. She needs like what Charlotte did with Alexa. She needs her next. She needs something like that where Charlotte that completely revamped her, refreshed her, and people are a big fan of that, big fan of her. She's cheering. So again, this is a good match. She's a way better wrestler than Jericho ever was in that ROH run. But I just have no investment, and everyone knows I hate the Becky current character of the I'm not the only one saying it. Like this whole very over the top 80s heel. It's not as bad I feel like recently, but it's just there's still shades of it that I check out. So that's my I feel bad putting her in the same category as Jericho, but Espa, what do you think about this match? And do you think that's happening? Where Becky just in a couple months is AEW and whoops, ICW IC champ again, and we just keep running this back.
Yeah, so I'd say this was probably my favorite match of the show. This is the match I was standing up in. I was really really enjoying this, and as you're saying, I mean, I feel like there's definitely a chance she just wins it back, but I don't know. I mean, let's say she doesn't do this, and let's say they don't do Jessica Carr. What does she do on Raw?
For the foreseeable future?
Yeah, let's say up until what would be her SummerSlam match if it's not a rematch with Soul?
Okay, so
or Jessica Carr in
it's
a
no
Hell in a
Jessica
Cell
and
match.
it's no Soul. I think that you could in the 4-way. I don't know how this would go. I think you could start to set the seeds for her and Liv, and you could try to get Becky back as a babyface, which might work because people are just, I think, checked out of this character. I'm not saying she gets no reaction, but it's very mild the reaction she gets nowadays. I think that's what you could do is they cost each other.
Would you go Becky as the face instead of trying to turn Liv face?
Liv would be easier. I guess that's just a question of what is the future of Judgment Day, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if she's getting kicked out and you have Roxanne take over that lead, then yes. But I don't think you can make all of Judgment Day that squad right now of JD, Dom, and that's not a face stable. That's not. They had their chance to turn Judgment Day face, and this isn't that. So if there's a situation where, and I would love that, it's Liv turn babyface, and they do the reverse, and Roxanne screws over Liv, and she takes over. Absolutely, I think you can get Liv to a babyface. People like her. She is charismatic. I think people do want to cheer her, or even, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I think this is the easier route. This is a full WWE route. SummerSlam, Becky versus Liv versus Stephanie triple threat. That's the way I could see them doing it, where Becky and Liv get to interact, but they're like, well, we don't want either of them to be a face right now. Stephanie will be the go in between. You can get Stephanie and Becky on a Raw main event, which could be really good, right? So that's my pitch: is Stephanie, Liv, Becky, and then a combination of different matches. Again, what they did with Lyra and Becky, or Lyra and Bayley, but just do that with those two. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could see something where it starts out because I think Stephanie's still injured. It starts out with both Becky and Liv being heels, kind of going, having some back and forth. Like you could have Liv say some smart ass comment to Becky on Raw. Becky attacks her. They kind of do a little bit heel versus heel stuff. Then fold Stephanie into that as the baby face to kind of break it up and build into everything going on with them. So Becky's saying that she's going to take the title and she can stay heel while Stephanie's like, nope, title's mine, and Liv is just there continuing to be Liv.
Yeah, and then you could also test out, like, maybe in that time Becky does start to get some face reactions and stuff. Or then you can even go back to Sol and Becky months later. I'm not opposed to them going back to it. It was a good match. I just don't want that formula of the 2 to 3 match series and Becky ends up on top and then it's the next person. And Becky keeps talking about how in interviews that she gets all these people over. It's like, well, I don't know, sister. Like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing Lyra being a bigger star. AJ's gone. Sol, like, we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, what about you, S-Bubs?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that of it being like a 3 or something like that. I also think like because Becky and Io were kind of doing something as well, so I feel like if it's not Stephanie, maybe Io is in that kind of same spot of being like the in between. Or Io could also they could do that like that could be what Sol is doing like at a SummerSlam is like because I think because Sol and Lyra are like in the same 4-way. That could be like a program like Sol's first like feud, especially with Lyra having been like the first women's IC champion. That could be like a mini feud. Like I don't think that would get to like SummerSlam, but that could be like a feud until then. If you're doing like because like I said, I don't think Io is winning the Queen of the Ring, but even then she could probably still challenge for like Liv's title if she's the one who has it by SummerSlam. So. So yeah, I definitely agree with you that I don't think they should just do like Becky and Sol 3. At least not like if they do it on like Raw in 2 weeks and Sol wins, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if it's like a close off, because they do that all the time. That I'm fine with that as you pitched as well too. I just don't want the Becky formula, which again that feels like a very Jericho formula. He had a similar thing as far as that kind of repetition, and people just got.
Becky's gonna have her own learning tree.
Oh man, I could see it, man. I could see. I'm waiting for Becky to get a female stable.
Comes in. He said like Becky loves Nikita Lyons like for
and she's
real.
getting called up. She's gonna be your fucking Nash. She's gonna be your heater. She's gonna be your Big Daddy Cool. So we'll see. I was gonna ask because this is all like kind of on topic, but not. You guys watch weekly TV more than me because I watch like a segment or match here and there that interests me. How are Bree and Paige doing in the tag title scene over there? How's that going? Because obviously they're not going to be on PLE.
They're just wrestling like every week pretty much.
They exist there. Like there's not much going on really. I kind of feel like this is a holdover until Nikki gets healthy and then they can really start whatever story that they're wanting to tell.
I'll say it's gonna be them losing to Fatal Influence. I just don't really know when exactly. Like that's what it's being.
I think like David said, whenever
be.
Nikki's good, because I legitimately, as dumb as it is, it makes really no sense. Why would the turn happen? Or what I could even see is they lose clean, like not bad, but then after the match, the bells turn on Paige. It's like a fuck you, you lost the titles. Like that's what I pitch is Fatal Influence gets a win. Paige takes the pin and they beat her down. And then unfortunately AJ's not around, so you can't tie that back together. But that's what I could see there. And I saw some too, man. Yeah, how is Chad Gable not in the King of the Ring for the men's after all this fucking heat?
Especially since he just posted that he's headed towards Italy, so I'm going to assume that he's going to be on Raw this week. Like there's no reason for you to go from Mexico to Italy unless you're going to be on Raw. So like yeah, it's a big ball drop for him not to be there.
Yeah, she's just going to be working Otis again. They're going to tie that back around and god damn it. So all right, anything else on this show in particular? And then, if not anything else WWE related or adjacent, before we go to AAA.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like announced. I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's do AAA. What did you? I'll start with who watched most of the show?
I watched all of the show.
Okay, so Dave, I'll start with you. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw the full show as well.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, what do you guys think about the show?
So maybe a hot take, maybe not. I think that this was a better PLE than Clash in Italy by far. I felt like pacing wise, match wise. I mean, the opening match, Ray Phoenix. I'm like, this is what you set all of that time in Guantanamo Bay for, was to have a match like this. And you know, he went from being a jobber and sitting in a fake funeral for a gingerbread man to putting on an incredible match for the AAA World Cruiserweight title. And I mean, it was a great match. And then the other two matches in between, the tag team match was great. All the titles that were on the line changed hands. So I was like, man, Undertaker just doesn't care right now. He's just like, everybody's title changing hands. And then the final match, the Mask versus Mask, it was in everything from the openings, their walkouts, the build-ups, the comic book inspired opening that really led into the heritage of AAA and everything like that. Like, everything about that just was great. And El Grande Americano coming out with the For Mexico on the back of his jacket and then putting the hat on him, like that man was a god in Mexico right now. They absolutely loved him. And yeah, they put on a banger of a match, and it was great. And I mean, my only tweak about it is I'm not a fan of the huge bloody matches. And even though this wasn't a huge bloody match, I mean, I felt bad for Chad Gable at the end, trying to sit there and give a promo and talk about his wife and his kids, and he can't keep his eyes open because blood is pouring from his head.
Did you see what the daughter did afterwards?
Yeah, he gave her the high five, and she looks at her hand, and it's covered in the blood, and she looks at her mom like, ew, this is gross.
But even after that, she wiped it on, like, the little brother who's, like, wearing the costume. But no, yeah, I definitely thought it was a really fun show. I'd say obviously the main event was amazing. The rest of the show was a fun time. Like you said, the Phoenix Laredo Kid was a really great match. I thought, I'm a big fan of Wagner 3G. Like, I don't see his matches that often, but every time I see him wrestle, I just like his style. Because he's like, you know, like a bigger guy for a luchador, so it's cool seeing him do stuff out there. And so I enjoyed that. That was like, wasn't a crazy match because it was, you know, a lot of interference and like Omos out there, so it was more just like
every week I forget Omos is down there, and then every week he comes out in a Vikingo match, and I'm like, oh yeah, he is Vikingo's heater, who's Vikingo's incredible, so I don't know why he needs Omos as a heater, but yeah, he's down there playing the Kevin Nash role.
Yeah, so it was a fun time. And then like the War Raiders one, that was the match that didn't really do much for me, because I feel like even like a lot of people they bring to AAA, like they have heat there, but the War Raiders, just, I don't know, I don't think the people there really cared much about them, and the match felt super quick. It felt like I looked away for a second, and then like they had won the match, and we're holding up the titles. That was the one title I didn't really feel needed to change. I mean, I guess they must have some plan for them in AAA, but
yeah, I think that one changed more so that they could further the story with Psycho Clown and everything going for there. Him ripping off, you know, the one mask to show the other and going for there. And then I was like, oh, I guess, you know, now the War Raiders are playing the Massive Heels, because they didn't turn around and do the post-match beatdown that really didn't need to happen. That was just like, okay, we're doing this, as, you know, Psycho Clown's partner's like, yeah, nah, I'm not helping you, and continues to walk off. But other than that, yeah, it was a quicker, out of the 4 matches, it was the quicker one. But again, the pacing of everything, to me, just, it fit, and they were able to tell a lot of stories with those 4 matches in that 2-hour time. And then when it's juxtaposed the very next day or the next morning with Clash in Italy, and you have an hour's worth of ads, you do see, okay, let's get back to this style rather than all these freaking ads. I get it. Scary Movie as a sponsor, there's only so many times I can see a damn commercial for Scary Movie. You know, I get it. You guys pay all this money for these video packages, but I don't need to see 3 of the Jade Cargill Rhea Ripley video packages before the actual match. So that's one of the things I've been liking about these AAA big shows is the pacing of it. They get straight to business, and even with all the run-ins and stuff in the mass versus mass match, it was fun and it was good and it was hard hitting.
No, yeah, like, and like you said, like, I was talking about, like, the length out War Raiders match. Like, I didn't need it to be longer. I was just surprised that, like, I just, like, looked away and they had won already. But it was definitely worth it, especially because the main event had so much time. I mean, counting the entrances and, like, the post-match, it was probably, like 50 minutes, an hour total if you're counting, like, the whole spectacle around it, which is definitely a part of it. Because it's, like, it's one of those matches where, like, people say, like, oh, like, if there wasn't crowd noise, like, it wouldn't be as good. But it's like the environment is part of what made it so great. Just because people were so into it, like, so much heat into, like, and it's one of those things where, like, going in, I was thinking, you know, like, Kaiser, like El Grande Americano, like, he's 100% winning. But there are some moments where I thought, you know, the OG, like, he's really gonna win. Like, oh my God, they're gonna give it to him. But I thought it was a really, really fantastic match. They did, like, everything they could possibly do, they did in this match. You know, the blood, the blood spot, definitely, I thought it was funny. Because Kaiser goes behind, like, the barricade to pretty clearly, that's when he's supposed to blade. And there's, like, he comes out behind the barricade, there's not much blood. Gable throws him behind the announce desk to try and blade again. He comes back again. He has, like, a slightly bigger cut, but not that much. And then Gable just takes him in the ring and just starts punching him in the head, like, right into the gash to cut him open even more until he's actually bleeding. So that's how they got to the blood. But it was just, like, a crazy match. You know, probably the biggest performance of those guys' careers. I mean, are they ever gonna have, like, a match as big as that one? I don't know. But it was a really fun time and a great end to the show.
Yeah, like I said, it was. I just looked it up. The match length for that one was 33 minutes and 22 seconds. I don't know if that counts the entrances and everything. The entrances were amazing, and the post stuff. I am not gonna lie. I laughed my ass off at JBL's comment when Kaiser's girlfriend came down, and he's like, "I thought she was fired last time we heard from her. She was getting in a fight in an elevator in Florida," and I was like, damn it, only JBL could get away with saying something like that.
Yeah, so I watched. That's the only thing I watched of that because I just heard the universal praise, and it's just one of those things that I was like, okay, everyone's on this thing. Let's see, you know, wrestling Twitter overhypes a lot of stuff, and no, it wasn't overhyped at all. It's one of those things that it like. I think I suppose is right where like technically there's maybe other big wrestlers they could have, even if I guess just American Grande now, El Grande Americano. I'm just gonna fucking say Ludwig. Even if he goes on to win the AAA title, that could be like a very fun big moment. But the vibe that match had, I don't know if you can get any of them to have a bigger career than that. And I hope I'm wrong. One, and I hope those guys really enjoyed it as well too. I hope both of them kind of either before or after, because even before the entrances, the crowd, it was hot. Like obviously people talk about the pop for the 3 count, but even before it was hot. I watched it because I had to watch it. I had a busy day today, so I had to watch during breakfast, watch with the kids. They were all fully locked in, all the gimmicks and stuff. Like who's this, who's that? I don't know, but everything they knew about, like some of the Grande stuff, and then they've kind of trailed off since the Ludwig stuff started. But I filled them in the press conference packages and all that stuff. But no, it just what I loved about it too is so many times in both companies. Any company, right? The whole, there's a big feud fight, and the match will start that very slow, we're going to wrestle, and then it builds up to the street fight or the punching. It's like, no, right away, it feels like these guys hate each other. They're kicking each other, they're fighting each other. That one spot, too, where I can't remember what it is, but it's like it's sort of like a roll through, and it's like Ray does it, too, but like Ludwig, like, it ends with like the guy's head doing a head scissors on you, and you're using their stomach, and usually you hit them down, or they like hurricane rana you.
Yeah.
When they did that to spot, but Cable landed on the steps. My God, there's that one weird. I think he's doing like a T-bone, like belly to back suplex, but whatever happened, like it
it was supposed to be like it was like an angle slam, but he like slipped or let go, and the
Yeah.
fall was just like nasty.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of a completely different context, but it reminded me of the Undertaker Shawn Michaels cameraman spot where it's a botch, but the botch like made it look better, like it was like more dangerous. That's what that was, because whatever it was, that's what we talked about that weeks ago too. That's what made me want to watch the match at some point, was that, because I was really checked out, like I don't give a shit. I was like, this is a career killer gimmick. I hate that Gable's doing this. I hate Ludwig's doing this. But when that brawl happened a couple weeks ago and they set that up, and I saw the clips, like, okay, this does have a lot of heat to it. The match still had all that, and it was a well thought out match. It had peaks and valleys. It ended at the right time. It had good swerves and everything. They even had interference at the right amount, and they got taken out quickly. Like it was, it definitely don't feel like any, like that's the bad thing, is every once in a while, but it just feels like something you would never get in WWE right now. You know, like the type of stuff, and I know it's WWE adjacent, but that product they have, it just feels like you wouldn't. Now, even a couple of years ago with Punk and Drew, like they did, like big bloody, big brawl and stuff. But just the current product right now, it feels that it's more sanitized. And even the Roman Jacob brawl, that's nothing to like. That's kid stuff compared to the Americanos last night. That felt like a blood feud. It felt like JBL was on the sticks. It felt like the bull rope match between JBL and Eddie Guerrero, where they just beat, or no, the one before in Judgment Day, where they just beat the shit out of each other. There's an iconic image of just Eddie just covered in his blood. And yeah, great imagery of Gable takes off that mask and this guy's fighting for his life in the interview. He's just trying to get this interview done, and the blood's like burning his eyes, and he's just trying his best. But it's one of those things of how, I guess it's because it's a different company, but just how do you see that and not go forward? But I hope that means more for AAA. Like, I have not watched the event, but I've heard good things like what David said. So it makes me feel, oh man, I'm watching the wrong wrestling this weekend. So if you keep that going up, you'll get people like myself that watch a match here and there, but now the next time to do something, okay, I want to check this out. So it's all about momentum. We talked about that like a lot with AEW. They got that right now, Double or Nothing. AAA is getting that momentum right now with all these things. It definitely does feel like, I didn't watch the match, but with War Raiders being the tag champs, it feels very similar to the AEW ROH thing, where it feels like, hey, we have nothing for you. AAA is your home. They
It's
even
like
did that
some
to
of
that
these
guy.
are like they're saving people from the cuts, like if they're
Yeah.
champion in AAA.
And that's not bad too, because one thing I'll say, and a benefit to that show, and we talked about that, me and Espos last week, there is a different booker and creative team. I think Tony needs to do that with ROH. He needs to give it to somebody. He needs to look at three people and go, okay, if I got in a coma for a year, who could book AEW? I think it could be these three people. Okay, one of you book for a couple months. Let me see what you got, and then go forward. Like, that's the thing that helps. It's Taker and a whole different team. They can do whatever they want, and that is the place to make it a bit more of an adult product. Where ROH and AEW, like ROH just feels like nothing, and there's no differentiating between them, right? So that's something that WWE is doing better with this brand. NXT is kind of, I think NXT is kind of in like a floundering moment as well right now. Like they're kind of like, they lost a lot of people, right? So that was not always their fault. But that's the problem with NXT. But with AAA, like even with Chad Gale saying like, I'm going to come back, you could like, I guess it's up to him, but what would he rather be doing? Yeah, would he rather work a 5-minute match with Otis where he just beats him and then you move on, or this 30-minute main event where you're like, that crowd was super hot? So it's definitely in a match year contention. Like, I don't know what my match year is. I have a bunch of matches tied right now. Like, it'd be Roman and Punk, it'd be that one, it'd be Takeshita and Okada that happened, and probably the Darby Ciampa one as well. Like, there's a couple. I don't have a clear front runner like last year when Kenny and Gabe Kidd. Oh, that was easy. Same with Bryan and Will Ospreay that one year, or even the main event, the triple. Like, I don't have the one yet. I have a lot of like 1A, 1B, 1C, but I don't have that up there. But this will definitely be talked about for me. Yeah. So I'm waiting, but this will be if it's a tie, it's on there.
Yeah. I'll say like the pop is gonna be insane when like Gable takes out the Judgment Day for El Grande Americano to win the title. I mean, that's definitely what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be great, and that's the thing where that's what you do. They did a good job. They took this gimmick that literally could have killed both their careers, and they did a good job of it. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I hope they can keep it up. It reminds me a lot of New Japan right now after Wrestle Kingdom and the G1. A lot of fans were excited, but it's this thing of New Japan's had a couple tough years, and whenever they get hot, something happens, right? So that's the thing where, is this like the peak of some hotness, or is this the beginning of something new for AAA? And we'll see.
Yeah.
So The only WWE thing that I wanted to talk about that because David, you shared, I didn't see that.
Hey, I just see
That
like the Roman Cody face to face.
yeah. Apparently, there's like multiple angles on this thing. Someone also
Yeah,
like
there's
took
like a
angle.
TV angle and like a phone, like social media angle that they posted.
So now, and this is why I say with new information. This is the part where Travis walks it back. There's no reason. There's like
Crown Jewel, they're gonna do it.
it's interesting, right? They do Crown Jewel because they just like because if they do just some random face off here backstage, they don't have to. It's not like War Games where they're in the same match. They do that. They went out of their way to film this. I don't know. I do think now. I don't know if the match will happen because a lot of scoopers have said like Dave and Abu and other people have been like, yeah, that's a tough bill. That is a massive main event. I don't want like fuck. I guess it'd be in Saudi either way, right? Because it'd be WrestleMania Saudi. So like at least for the history books, if you're gonna do Roman and Cody 3, don't do it Crown Jewel for the fucking fake Crown Jewel title and stuff. Like hopefully it's at Mania. But again, I really do think it depends on The Rock. So I wonder if Cody's also just like another, oh, this is a good backup thing, right? But I'm crossing paths. That's good.
Setting it up in case Dwayne can't make it.
Well, yeah, and then like I said, then Cody's camp, you need to tell him go a bit harder. Don't do this whole like I don't know why he's coming at me. We're not fighting. Like, and who knows? Also, too, this is where I need to walk it back. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna get too excited. Who knows how much of this is not just gonna be to promote fucking Street Fighter in September, and then they drop it after that, right? That literally could be it, and nothing really happens. They could do the red carpet
like at the premiere, you know, red carpet face to face.
Yeah, like literally, if you were down as Street Fighter would be like, hey, can you have them fight on the red carpet? Like, get into it.
Supposed, you know, that's lost media. That the thing that like Cody and Rock filmed something at like the Moana premiere that never got released.
Oh yeah, I think that was because that was before the Netflix.
Because that was before the
right?
Netflix premiere. Yeah, I feel like that could have been a final boss type thing that never got released.
That or I honestly feel like it was just like a we're good now, like you know I respect you, you respect me, you know. So we'll see, but yeah, moving on to AEW. Obviously, they have they're in the middle of their own right now. They had Double or Nothing last week, which had much like the Grande match, big acclaim. And I'm the worst now because I don't have much time to watch all shows, so I can't be like everyone else and say it's like the best or top 3. I can confidently say it's like a top 5er if I had to think about certain things. I think what I agree with people is it had the vibe of I think it's All In 21 or whenever Brian and Cole debuted the same night, and you also had Ruby Soho that night. But
I think that was All Out.
Okay, oh, right, because they didn't have the all-in thing yet, yeah. But it just feels like for the vibe and the aura of that night, the whole card delivered for the most part. I don't think every match is like a 4 to 5, but the thing is the crowd was with them. Nothing was too long other than I'd say the Stampede, but again, that was for some other reasons that they couldn't do their crazy stuff. But also, yeah, we'll quickly go over some of the matches, talk about some things there. But yeah, David, what do you think about Double or Nothing last week as far as being a big show for them last week?
I think it was good. So I missed the pre-show, and then I got in just in time for like I got home from what all we had going on from dinner and everything like that. For those who don't know, like last week was my birthday, so my birthday was on the 24th, same day as Double or Nothing. I got home from birthday festivities just in time for FTR walk into the ring and everything, so I got to see everything else. I didn't go back and watch any of the pre-show stuff because
you're good. I conglomeration.
I saw like grades on it, and it was like, yeah, it was a C+ effort from all of the pre-show, and you know, there's only so many pre-show things I can see with Big Boom AJ and everybody. So I was like, all right, let me. I skipped that.
He was bleeding.
He was
busted open.
Getting color. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think about the rest of the show?
Other than that, the rest of the show is a pretty good show. Okada and Takeshita, you know, they performed the way that I knew that they were going to perform. Athena and Mina was better than I expected, and it kind of went a little bit longer than I expected. I thought Athena was just going to like ragdoll her for a while and set up something future. John Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly was cool, but it was weird. I think the thing about that match that
Moxley.
I had so much trouble with was, yes, it was Moxley being Mox, and then I could not get past JR's commentary. Like that
Yeah.
that kept taking me out of the match.
I hate to
Will
say it, like,
Ospreay put on a
I
good
was
Will
a-
Ospreay match.
Yeah, I was against WWE when they got rid of JR the first time, like in 2011. Then he got sprinkled part time and everything, and I get why AEW brought him back, and he like obviously still even had some issues in those first few years, but it's fine. Now is the time where even if they want to keep him on as a consultant or do like some sort of like at signing event, sure, but now no more. Now's the time. Even maybe give him one. Maybe do like a hey, this is gonna be your last call at least with this company, sure, but tell him like go all out. That's it. But that was him not understanding the rules of the Continental, him not knowing who Kyle O'Reilly was. He thought that Jon Moxley won the title that night. He's like, oh, new champion right after the 3 count, and it's just like. And again, he's been through a lot of stuff in his life. You know, obviously his the stroke and his wife, like, and he has his health issues. So I don't want to wish him non-money. I just like, can we find another role for him to do in AEW, even if like it's something like just
I'm
like
sure
it's a
TK
legendary,
would
you know?
still pay him like if he's not doing commentary.
He
Like,
Legends contract to do something, you know.
He
Like,
needs
commentary's
a
not-
good one-on-one championship match that doesn't have stipulations or crazy rules, and
I
just
don't know,
let him
man.
let
I
him
think he might-
call that, and let that be his final goodbye to Jim Ross type. You know, let him call that match, because having him go through stuff like the Continental Classic, like not wondering about Mox, and oh well, he's got all this help, and who knows when we're going to see them. We're not. That's part of, like, there's all these rules and things. So it was just, I don't know. It just seemed like it misplaced. But other than that, Will Ospreay was a good match. Swerve Strickland
Yeah,
and
I really liked
Bandito,
him and Joe. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, were really good. I absolutely love Swerve, and he was doing his thing during this match. The Tekla train continues. Like, man, I wish I'd bought in on that stock as early as you guys, because she's out here going crazy. The Stadium Stampede was cool. It was cool. I felt like there was way too many let's gang up on Ricochet spots. I know that's what he's there
They did
for.
that twice. The whole like finisher spree. It's like, did they all forget they did the spot and Rico's gonna take extra bumps? Like, what's going on? You know?
Yeah, like
Poor guy.
they had 2 gang up on him moments. Then they had the moment in the back with the huge tennis racket and everything else. I was like, let's come off the let's gang up on Ricochet thing, and then
But he's bald. Don't you get it? It's funny. He's bald.
title
I'll say
versus hair
too,
match
like,
was good.
This was like the wackiest like Stadium Stampede match like
Yes.
so far. But even with all that, they still tried to end it on like one of the Gates of Agony guys like taking the bullet for Ricochet like at the very end, which was like,
Yeah.
you're doing this whole match that's very goofy. Like, Ricochet can just lose. But I mean, I guess Jericho, he wanted his singles match on Dynamite, so.
Yeah,
But-
and I guess someone actually called the police, or something happened with the spot with Mark Davis and Jungle Boy Jack Perry when he crashed into it. Like, people thought that was from the adjacent houses, thought that was real.
That was really cool when people showed the in footage where they're in the arena, and if you're high enough, you could watch outside and see the
Yeah.
outside arena.
Yeah.
So you could literally go tight on that.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
'Cause
Like,
there were
just
some reports that they had like filmed stuff like the night before, and I thought for sure that was gonna be one of those
No,
segments, but
that was
no,
live, and people got on the neighborhood app and were reporting a bus crash and everything else.
Yeah, no, it was good there. And then what else we got there? You had and what about the main event? That was the last thing you didn't talk about yet, David.
Yeah, main event was cool. I kind of figured MJF was winning. I didn't see him going bald. And you know what? Darby's run wasn't long, but I think it was a good run, and it worked for what he was trying to accomplish. He had that feel good moment, and then I think that the way that they did his title run, with him constantly having these beat up defenses and things like that, kind of built it up that, okay, yeah, he's been workhorse this thing ever since he's got it. No days off, no rest, no, you know what, I'm just going to sit out a week. He's been doing it. So for him to be so beat up going into this and everything like that, I think that worked in the favor of the match.
Yeah, no, I think that run overperformed. Again, I think I talked about this last week. I think it all depends on what your definition of a run is, and then people just I feel like it's a top 3 or top run. I guess I just always thought Darby was going to have great matches. I still prefer some story and character, and there is like an arc there in a sense of him like beating himself up, but there's not all those. All the matches didn't have much story as far as not with him, but to get there. And I always hate the whole MJF's defense in 2 weeks, but I'm versing Brody King. I'm versus that. It's like, all right. And then even then, like we got the Sammy defense. That's when we got to the end. It's like, okay, that didn't work. That really, if that was a project for Sammy, that didn't work. But like I said, I always thought that Darby would get a run. And then like Mick Foley, that'd be kind of it. But I think I've said this last week where Darby proved that, okay, he's a guy that like Moxley, if someone goes down, you actually could strap him up and he'd be fine. Because that main event was also super hot. Like that was, and I didn't know how hot it was going to be because I think all of us just thought MJF's going to win. And I think some of those matches when you get them wrestling, the crowd is just, unless it's megastars, they're just kind of quiet because they know there's going to be some good spots, but it's really just inevitable what's going to happen. But no, they bought on the accounts. I think they did a really good job. That shot of not only the camera, but some of the photos of Darby on the stage up there and jumping off the table, really cool. Like one of the most iconic AEW moments. So, no, it was really good. I enjoyed that. And that's where I'll talk about some of the other matches, but we can talk about this. I want to get your guys' opinion. So I had to watch Euphoria last week, and that's what I said, something big happened. So I skipped to the main event because I want to see the match, and then I want to see that. And then this proves a point that I've talked about many times. So MJF wins. He's celebrating. Kevin Knight runs out there to like beat him up. Hey, leave my friend alone. Darby's getting stretcher out, and then he hits him with I know it's a frog splash, but I think Kevin Knight has like a different name for it or whatever. But very
because
very,
he does
very
it like
cool.
the D'Lo Brown style where he like lands
and he
the
turns
opposite
though
way.
too. Yeah. So he hit that, and then he turns heel. And then on Dynamite, he cuts a whole like it should have been me in that spot. There's two type of promos that a heel can do that are just have been done like millions of times.
Because the week before on Dynamite, like his speech to Darby to like hype him up was like, you have to do it for us, like you're doing it, like that's us out there fighting for the championship for us guys. So that was like, he let us down. Darby let the people down.
I guess I just but that wasn't what he said on Dynamite though. He said I should have been MJF's spot.
Yeah,
because he said I beat MJF.
It was like he just turned heel, and then it's like he just like changed personality.
Yeah, that's what I agree with you. That they set it up there. So when he starts talking about it should have been me. I beat MJF a few weeks ago. Guess what? Also happened a fucking few weeks ago. Darby beat you. You should not be in that spot. If you're going kayfabe, MJF has beaten Darby Allin every time except for one time, and there were shenanigans. Absolutely, he deserves a rematch. You, who was versing Darby, who was already beat up, he beat you. There's no reason for you to get a match here. It would have been different if MJF was the champ, right, and he beat the champ, but it's not. So I hate that. I don't know why he's heel when we have MJF as a heel world champ. Kyle Fletcher's back. I'd understand a bit if he was not back, but he's back there. So when they did the face-off on Dynamite, I'm like, well, they're just both heels now. I get there's some matches you can do. I wonder if it almost was a case of we don't know what Darby's going to do. Let's give him Kevin Knight. I don't know. Again, you still do babyface. I still will tell them I don't know what they're doing with Kenny. But I've said this before. Tony has a big problem when people organically get over. It happened with Jamie Hayter. It happened with the Acclaimed. Oh, there was another one too. Oh, even Takeshita. You could make that case that when people get popular, he does not know what to do with them when it's not on his schedule. Same thing as Andrade. After that Darby match, he was hot. He shook Darby's hand. He was a fucking babyface. And now he's still just in the back. How you know? Like they're not doing, and he's just like a Don Callis goon. He's off to the side. And he's fun in Stampede. But like, how do you not right the next Dynamite have a segment where he turns on Callis? Even the next few weeks is just him fighting Don Callis people. How do you not like go off then? That's the thing with Tony because he's such a numbers guy. I think when like with Kevin Knight, he got organically over as a babyface. And he just doesn't even know like what to do with him. So he's like, well, I'll heat him up. And yeah, sure, Kevin Knight's gonna be like a main event guy, but he was over as a babyface. Like he didn't need to. Like it's just odd. Like it's so hard to get people just naturally cheered. And when you have that going on with Kevin Knight, just keep rolling with that. You could turn him heel at any time. It just doesn't feel warranted right now. So and on Dynamite, what I saw wasn't great either. But I'm excited for like the matchups he could do. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's him and Darby again, but yeah. So how do you? I think you watched the main event. What of the Double or Nothing did you watch? And then also, what do you think of the main event and the Kevin Knight turn there?
I saw all of the show besides the opener live. I did go back and see
Nice.
the opening tag.
He didn't trust
so.
Edge and Christian. He's like, I gotta wait for reviews on this one, you know.
No, I was just late. I was just late to seeing it. But
Yeah, nice.
to go through the whole show, no, yeah, I'd say I was pretty much on the same boat with a lot of people in terms of like there was a match that I liked like way more than most people. I would say, kind of similar points. Yeah, the even though I love Moxley, the Kyle O'Reilly match didn't really do much for me. That was like probably my least favorite match of the show. Like I just wasn't really interested in
I
it,
agree
and
with
it's
you.
like, and people have said like this is the Moxley formula now. Like he loses on TV in like an eliminator match or time limit, and then he just beats the guy on the pay-per-view.
And he's like Becky too. Like he's in that same type of. He has his own formula. It's just like I like Becky Lynch.
And they did
I
the
like
no
Becky Lynch's
time
wrestling.
limits thing, and he beat Kyle O'Reilly like under the time limit, like under 20 minutes.
I didn't
yeah.
clock that. Yeah, it's the thing. I like John Moxley. I like him as a wrestler. I like his character. I hate this whole. I've lost the world title. I'm just gonna hold hostage a secondary title. It's like, God, man. Like, and now the word is that he's not breaking up with Death Riders anytime soon. So, I don't know. Right, that's what I said on the Discord. I'm really. I think they're gonna fucking do him and Kenny at All In. I think there's a good shot. Why they do? It's the same thing as Cody and Roman. Why are they doing stare down to the backstage now? It's like, oh brother, that's like. And even though, I think the match would actually be good, I don't know, man.
Continental title, Kenny.
Continental title, Kenny. You know. So
What else on the show that like really stood out? I really liked Joe and Osprey. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a lot shorter than I expected. It was only like it was less than 15 minutes. It was like 12 or 13 minutes or something like that. But at the same time, that feels like a match they could run back like when Osprey is the champion as like
yes.
for like a B type, like a Wrestle Dream or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really liked it too because the thing is, I feel like not a bad thing, but sometimes Joe has a formula where he'll do like he'll do his Okada, Randy Orton, like he'll work a body part, and sometimes I feel like he works it too long. The way the match started with him just getting a cutter, and then even the finish too, it looked like a Mortal Kombat game. Joe got up on his knees, and he had no idea. And the way Osprey hit him with the hidden blade, it looked like he killed Joe. It killed him so much he had to go film Twisted Metal 3, you know? But, like, it was a really good match. And Joe, I think, always does really good with, like, the fast. Like, him and Darby had a great match, like, a couple years ago. Anytime someone's smaller and they're
Hook
fast.
match, you know, the greatest match of
Oh,
Hook's
yeah.
life.
Hook's career. That was his Americano match.
When Hook had that match, people were saying, like, he has to win the world title. Like
he had the juice, man. He did. He had and you can lose that juice fast. But Hook, and at that point too, when
after
he lost
that, he
all
had
of
like
us,
a 9-month Jericho feud after that.
He
match.
did, and then he cut the terrible. This is when I knew it was over too, because I was one of those camp where I went, you know what, Hook. I don't know if he could for sure, but he could be a world champion maybe one day with the performance. They had some cool promos. That week after he comes out, we wrestled. You beat me. I lost. And then the handshake, and that's when it was like, I think we talked about did we have the podcast?
I only
going
just
time?
remember that now. Like I'd forgotten about that.
And I just remember don't let him talk ever again. Like get him a manager. Like you beat me, I didn't beat you. Next time, and it's like, oh no, and that killed him. From there, he lost all the aura of the Hook character. Like, but before, remember, he was like in New York, and he was like cutting promos in the streets. It was like, okay, there's some juice here. Like they had something going.
He lost the theme song. You know, he started talking.
Right, the theme song too. Yeah.
What else was on the show? Swerve and Bandito. That was a really fun match. Swerve with when he like stood on his shoulders to like do the house wheel was crazy. That's like a fighting game type like.
That's a video game WWE thing you can't do. Because Swerve's like he's a big guy now when he was before. Like he put on lots of weight while he was injured, so it's not like before where he's like a light heavyweight. He's a heavyweight and he's up there. And kudos to Bandito for holding him. That was a
I mean Bandito
spot.
Also is like crazy strong too. So.
Yes,
but still like for and even like the balance to like because I mean. In real time, he was probably stood up there for like 2 seconds, but still, even to like perfectly balance yourself and land off that was a crazy spot.
And they did one of my favorite variations. I'll actually say just my favorite variation of his finisher, where Swerve was on the ground and Bandito did the rope jumping gum. Because I hate it's very much like the 619. Only when people wrestle Ray, they fall the ropes on like that. Same with Bandito.
Yeah.
They fall and they do that ass out thing.
Someone
and Bandito
posted,
takes like 15 minutes to like. oh, like look, he's like putting. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, like. But this time I like because it felt like a natural, like, oh, we got him. Which that's how the move started, but now it gets set up so much, it just feels like it's
Yeah.
too choreographed.
There was
but-
something someone posted that was really cool on like in like ROH like before, let's say, I forget who exactly it was, but let's say like Blake Christian, who like challenged him for the ROH title like
Baby.
a few weeks ago, like
Yeah.
in a match that didn't involve Bandito, but like leading up to when he was gonna challenge him, like someone got him and like at some point he got into like the spot to do
cool,
it, and like
yeah.
someone didn't do it to him, but it was like, oh, he like naturally got into the position
Sets it up
for
for
it.
down the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But yeah, that was a fun match. Let me see. I have the card here. It's the women's 4-way. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like the greatest ever, but I'd say like Jamie and Stat were definitely like the best part of that. Like they were
Give
hitting
them a
each other
60-woman
hard there, yeah.
Iron Woman match. They shouldn't even
Yeah,
done
that was
the
also
Survival
one
Fittest,
like
you know?
I remember like they had the match like it was like World's End, and I thought that was gonna lead to like I thought that was gonna be like the first of a series, and Jamie
Yeah.
was gonna turn heel, and then they never really followed up with that. So, but that was a fun match. I enjoyed it, and Sheeta was also she was good out there.
Yeah.
Let's see, Stadium Stampede. Like I enjoy the Stadium Stampede matches, but at the same time, they're so long that after a certain point, it's like I'm enjoying it, but I don't really care that much about like who wins or loses. Like it just keeps going
Yeah.
on and on. So it was an enjoyable match, but I don't find myself ever like rewatching these unless I'm just like skipping around through like highlights of stuff
Yeah.
that happens in it.
I think there's only a few. I feel like the very first one is the legendary one with the
Yeah.
whole like everything with the like the in the
I've
football
watched
field.
clips of last year's too a couple times.
I was gonna say that one too. Yeah, because that was the bodies hit the floor one, right? That one
Yeah.
felt like this
Yeah.
definitely felt like the second or first place as far as the ranking of those two. So
My thing with Stadium Stampede is, I like them, but also I want it to be more than it's May. We got to get two groups together.
Yeah.
it's very much gonna be the format going
It's
forward.
becoming kind of Hell in a Cell-ish where.
Yeah.
All right, it's that time of the year. Like this needs to be a big, huge, like we can't keep these people apart, like a big brawl type deal, rather than just
Yeah,
and
it'd be
now
cool
we have
if
the
it could
Elite
happen
teaming with
at-
Jericho, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it'd
with
be
you
cool
more-
if it could happen at like any time. Like it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're feuding. I mean, it's the same thing for like War Games and WWE and stuff like that. Like how awesome would it be if it's like at SummerSlam there's gonna be a War Games match or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool if Stadium Stampede or Anarchy in the Arena could be like there's a bunch of feuds setting up and then everyone's brawling, and at World's End it's gonna be an Anarchy in the Arena match.
Yeah,
So,
I feel that way more so about Blood and Guts though, because that's always like a feud ender, and then it always happens to be around the
yeah.
same time.
It
Like,
never.
Stadium
I mean,
Stampede-
last year it did, and like that was. What that. The team that was Conglomeration versus Death Rider. So we literally had Kyle O'Reilly versus
He
John
got the win
Moxley on
on
the
Moxley.
show. Like
Yeah.
6 months later, 7 months.
Yeah,
later.
because that's when Riley got hurt, right? Because he had that great showing, and then he got hurt.
He got hurt
remember?
like after because there was Blood and Guts. Then he had another match with Moxley afterwards,
And he beat
then
Moxley,
got
right?
hurt. Yeah, and
yeah,
he beat Moxley.
Yeah.
and that's where it kind of killed his steam. So yeah, again, I'm more in Blood and Guts because that to me is supposed to be a feud ender. They should just end the conglomeration, but
They're just gonna keep adding people, Takesh,
I
the
hate it,
newest
man.
member.
I
newest member
hate-
of Conglomeration.
the second he walked out on Dynamite and then
Give him the book back.
fuckers followed him. I'm like, no. And that's another bad thing Tony has lately. It's just like everyone has to be unstable. It's like, no, man. Like
Do you
some
see
people just ride
the
alone.
ending
you know?
of Collision?
No, I
It
didn't
was
know.
like every stable ran out to fight each other because it was like the main
really?
event was Takeshita
That's fine.
versus Daniel
DJ,
Garcia.
yeah.
Apparently, it was a really good match, and
I've heard that too.
and like I think Takeshita won, and like Death Riders run in to beat him up. Conglomeration runs out. Like the dogs run out.
Okay, I'll
Shane
have to catch
Taylor
up.
Promotions, because now they're being like they finally escaped ROH and now they're on Collision. Like Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor and all those
Right,
guys.
yeah.
Now they're on on Collision, so they run out, and then like Speedball just ran out, and I think they were like, oh, he's technically part of the conglomeration too, so it just ended. I think the show went off the air with just like 30 guys in the ring. Oh, and like Marino is fighting like whoever the woman is in Shane Taylor. I forget who exactly it is, but everyone was fighting, and I think that's just how it went off the air. So I mean, like you're saying, like everyone is in a stable. Even like I said, like Speedball, they were like, oh, he's part of the conglomeration too, and he ran out to fight these guys. So
that's why when there's those rumors about Swerve doing a stable, I'm like, please no, because like keep Swerve alone too. So which again, I said
mean, even the Elite now, like they announced like, oh, the Elite counting Jack Perry too, like he's in that group. So.
Which again, Kenny never welcomed Jack Perry to the Elite. They just like add him. And does that mean Luchasaurus is part of the Elite now? I bet he is, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like,
I mean, he's part of Stadium Stampede. He made some appearances.
Right? Yeah, which again, I said in the Discord, but for the listeners, I got a good kick out of when Kevin Knight turned heel. They did all these like, oh, he bumps into all these people. And he didn't bump into Swerve, so Swerve filmed his own segment on his social media.
I saw someone say he pulled the Karrion Kross to film in his own
100%.
segment.
This is like, no, you tweeted that shit. You don't get to be backstage for these segments. Like, oh, I'm still gonna do it, you know. So, yeah. Well, but yeah, to me, it's storytelling 101. Takeshita was in a heel stable. He should not have friends right away. It should be like, hey, buddy, you were Don Callis family. Fuck you. You got to earn our trust back. Kudos to them, like I've seen on Raw when they're doing that with the Vision and Seth, right? And it took like Montez didn't trust him, but Dawkins did, and back and forth, and then they had the match. Good. That's like it's a simple no-brainer story, but still, it's something where it's just like Takeshi all of a sudden, yeah, he's just good. He's a good guy. All the good guys like him. It's fine. It's like it'd be different too if they like annihilate him. Kyle Fletcher, which I get it, right? He just clotheslined Takeshita. Takeshita was taking fucking nukes in the match with Okada, and he's getting up. But he takes one clothesline from Kyle Fletcher, he's dead. Now, granted, I used the GMO'd stamina thing. It's like, okay, he's at 0. That's why he can't get up. But, like...
He had the purple bar above
yeah, he's purple barred out. He's done. But I would get it if they just, like, destroyed him, right? Where it's like, you know what, we don't like Takeshi with those guys, but they, like, bloodied him up. They put him in handcuffs. Fuck that! Like as good guys, we should try to step up. He got one clothesline, and now it's like, yeah, we got your back now, man. It's like, no, like make him work for it. Make it be like, yeah, we don't fuck with you, Takeshita. Like you gotta win us back, which I actually did not enjoy. Also, I'm gonna go on that thing. I didn't think that Kyle Fletcher should have turned either on the same show that Kevin Knight did. I think they should have saved that, and I do think that Tony might kick himself. I guess that's maybe the all match, or it's the triple threat with Okada. But when they hugged, I was like, man, that's your, like, Kota Ibushi's fucked, man. His legs are fucked. Nothing's happening. That's your new Golden Lovers right there. That's your white guy with the Japanese wrestler, and they might be gay. You got it. That's it. You got it. And, like, I wish that they, even if they got there, because there's a long time between All In, I would have waited for that turn a little bit. I would have had the hug. I would have maybe had a couple matches with Takeshita.
Like a tag match of
or even with Kyle in his corner, like so he doesn't have to touch the Don Callis family, but just that. I think there was way more juice in that turn, and they cut it off on the heels. And again, it was weird to turn him like back to heel and Knight heel as well in the same night. It just kind of it felt a little odd. It feels like the one kick out thing or the foot rope thing. It's like, did no one say like, hey, let's just even on Dynamite, let's have Takeshita and like that end the show? So it just felt a little odd. Great, Fletcher's back. I think Takeshita and Fletcher, if I'm hoping it's a 1-on-1, a triple that could be good, but I think if they get the 1-on-1 and All In, they could steal that fucking show. They are ready to pull a Shawn Michaels Kurt Angle at 21. They're looking at All In and like, oh, but then I just feel Tony be like, yeah, and Okada's with you guys, and it's like, oh no, like, because like I don't know what else Okada's gonna do unless he's doing some in New Japan. I don't know what he's gonna do. I guess you could always run back him and Kenny again, but I don't want that. I didn't even want that last time, so I think it's gonna be a triple. We'll see, and then I guess Moxley and Darby. I was that spot as Moxley. Moxley's a guy that I'm just like, I like his in-story stuff. Like I like the weird stuff he's doing with Ospreay backstage, but then once that bell rings, I'm like. Like we're doing this type of stuff. Yeah, I agree. I liked Ospreay and Joe a lot. Swerve and Bandito's great. I'm going to save the women last so we can talk about that and what's going on there. Yeah. And my legends, my beasts, my machines, my dogs, my guys, I fucking hate Cove. Edge and Christian, man, they delivered. I said there was a lot of turmoil after that Edge Moxley stuff, but I said with FTR, they can at least deliver a 4-star. They did last time, and they did again here. That match was great. The story was great. The crowd was popping. And even on the segment this week was great with the comedy I liked. Edge got the cameras, and then the dogs beat them up. Sorry, dogs, you're definitely taking the 1, 2, 3. But man, I'm very happy this went great. And you know it went great because what I predicted, the fucking Hardys, I'm sure Bully Ray, they're going to be leeching off these guys because Edge and Christian were always the best fucking team out of that trio. And they show it again here. And I'm very excited for. No
You're
pun
ready
intended.
for the TLC match. Oh,
No,
man.
don't do it. It's gonna happen because now, especially Days reporting, it's gonna happen. But even if it's just a straight match, I'm so excited for FTR, Bucks, and Edge and Christian. I think this is a great spot for Cope and Cage. I love that all the stuff with Cope in the middle of the match. I bang your mom. I love that they've just stuck with Cope being or Cage being a fucking heel. Yeah, we talk about so many times when even Takeshita, right? Like someone turns babyface or heel and they completely change. Like Knight, right? The week before, do it for us. Why am I heel? Oh, I should have been in the match, not MJF. It's like, what happened to your motivations with Cope? It's like, or Cage. It's like, nah, I'm still an asshole. I'm not gonna cheer when he's trying to get the photography stuff. He's like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, it makes it better. So I love that match. The young child me was like, okay, good. My guy still got it. And yeah, the main event was really good. The only problem I had, two things with the main event. The camera guy spot was the reverse. It fucked up like Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and it did not add to the match. They have a part where MJF's going to get a suicide dive, that one that Darby becomes like a fucking mutant, but he pulls the camera guy. Darby doesn't really hit him, and then they show a replay, and Excalibur did his best. They go to replay, and after he gets hit on the ground, the camera guy's like still up. He's still sitting there. But before he was like down, like knocked out. And Scott was like, oh, even our cameramen, they try and get the shot when they go down. But it felt super awkward. And I also think they went way too hard on the headlock takeover bit. I like it. I understand the full thing. But they had that whole sequence where you do it. And then the match still ended with a tombstone and MJF did the headlock takeover. To me, the payoff was already done. Darby beat you at the headlock takeover. That's it. That story, like no more. Even the one in the middle of the match when they went back and forth, sure. But I don't need this to keep going on. So that's the only thing of like that. Honestly, probably would have kept it from being a 5-star. I think it's like a 4.75 for me. It's like just under those match here. I think they had great chemistry. I think MJF's firing on all cylinders. I'm still in the camp that I don't want him and Ospreay at All In, but I understand people's criticisms of, do you really want Kenny just to hold it for a month? No, I do not. So I think just let MJF run with it. He's doing a great job. But before we get to the women, fuck, man, again, why are we going back to Mark Briscoe, man? We did, it'd be different if they hadn't wrestled. They had a series, they had a tables and tax match. We were just here this year. This count, like in 2026, they were doing this match. There's no one else back there for MJF to wrestle. It's just like, get Mark Briscoe out there again, and he's going to call him a redneck hillbilly guy. It's like, even with Roosh, I'm like, hey, yeah, give us Roosh. That works. There's a fun story. There's someone else they teased too. Shit. On Dynamite. They teased 3 people.
It was like Roosh and it wasn't like Kyle Fletcher or someone like backstage.
That could have been long term. I thought there was somebody else immediately, but even then, and I do find it funny that now MJF is wrestling Roosh next week. I'm gonna be curious if MJF starts to do the Darby thing because that goes against the MJF character. He's not supposed to wrestle every week. He'll wrestle more now because he says he's trying to do the Ric Flair thing, but he's going to wrestle every week.
Andrade called out MJF.
Andrade, yeah, and that's fine too. They've been building that for a while. That's happening at Grand Slam,
like
right?
Grand Slam Mexico, yeah.
And I actually think him and MJF are going to have a really damn good match. I think that could be a match to your contender. So excited for that. Excited for Roosh. Mark Briscoe. Get him out of there, man. Let MJF squash him. I don't care. And I like Mark Briscoe, but it's not the place. We've been here, done that, you know. And then finally, to end off the show, the women's 4-way. I agree with you guys. It was good, served its purpose. The women's title overall, both of them are just in quite a mess right now because we got Willow. We talked about last episode. She's injured, so now they're doing a survival of the fittest, which they've never done in AEW. I don't know what to tackle first. Do we tackle who we think would win that, or do we think who's going to win the Owen now? Because we all thought that
I think we go
Willow.
for the Owen. Yeah.
Okay, so we all thought Willow was going to win. Willow's out. What do we do? There's a mystery opponent next week for Windsor, but we all think it's Hader.
I think it's Jimmy Hader.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't think either of them are winning the tourney because I think they're getting the tag titles at All In.
I mean, if they need to like pivot to someone like they're British, they can do it.
That's
Like
true.
one of
Yeah,
them can go through.
that's true. And you know what you could always do? MJF did it. You could always have them do work both. Like they could do both matches.
Yeah.
Have Hater doing
Especially
both.
the
And,
tag titles that are like on the pre-show half the time.
Yes,
You
and-
literally do it.
and man, what a great! Because when MJF did it, he's already versing Adam Cole babyface. But and they both
Yeah.
wrestled.
And
What
they
a great
did it for like the
babyface!
ROH titles too. So
Yeah,
it's
but
like
what a
they were
great
just-
babyface
yeah.
heel match where Tekka's going in fresh and Jamie Hayter is going in. And I feel like she's not when she won the title, but Hayter's now finally getting the crowd reactions and people are starting to respond to her again. It took a minute because, again, they brought back Hayter in the fucking pre-show for All In to verse Page. It's like Tony had no idea what to do with her. But so you're saying, I suppose, would you go with that as your pick as Hayter? I gotta pick it
I'm
up
trying
here.
to think the rest of the bracket's just in my head right now.
So
I mean,
Athena beat Mina Shirakawa to advance. We've got Sky Blue versus Sari. We have Persephone versus Hazuki, and then we have Alex Windsor versus the wild card, which we all presume is going to be Jamie Hayter. So
I'll say,
I mean,
I think, okay, I can tell it like, I mean, I think Persephone's gonna beat Hazuki because
Yeah.
Persephone's like signed to AEW. Sky Blue and Sari's gonna beat Sky Blue. I'm actually very excited for that match because Sari is just like hits you for real, and I feel like Sky Blue is gonna do some crazy, take some crazy stuff in this match. And Suri versus Athena is gonna be like a really great match as well. And I think Athena probably gets to the finals of Forbidden Door, most likely.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Then wild card. I mean, I feel like Hayter will probably go through if it's Hayter versus Windsor, or I'll just say, for the sake of this example, I'll say Hayter goes through. Hayter, Persephone. I could see a Hayter Athena finals. That's like face versus heel.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Like, please, like, I would love to see Athena versus Hayter in the finals for the Owen.
And I
Either
think,
of those would be a
yeah,
great one, but yeah, I
And-
kind of see Hayter
And
winning.
Jamie winning that title at All In. She still has the story with Tekla because she lost like the one title match she had. I mean, same. She pretty
That
much.
was
I
her
mean,
debut,
she had her
right?
the good. Or no, also like I mean, at the show you went to, like she lost like with her foot on the rope.
Well, she did.
too.
She lose that, but like the story, there's like
Yeah,
Tekla's first
that
night
too.
was her, right? Which is crazy that it's been just 1 year. When whoever shared that stat in the Discord,
I think
was
that
like,
was
feels
really
like
supposed to. Yeah.
I think it's been longer than that, but it's like no, 1 year she's already had this big rise. So yeah, you're right that she never really got that one-on-one rematch from the Dynasty match. So,
So yeah, I think that's my
Yeah.
my updated prediction would be Jamie winning the whole thing and finals being Jamie versus Athena.
I didn't even think that. You guys are getting me too hyped up. I'm not gonna buy into this yet. I'm gonna buy the stupid wild card's gonna be like someone from it's gonna be like Billy Starks or something like that, and Alex is gonna get the win. I don't want to be because Hayter is my favorite AEW women's wrestler. So I hope you guys are right
I'll
with
say,
this.
I feel like the
theory, but-
promo that she had on Dynamite was very much because it was pretty much like Alex was saying, like, you know, like me and my husband we're going to All In, and then she was kind of talking, you know, in front of Jamie, and then Jamie said like one way or another the Brawling Birds are going for the title, which
Yeah.
means like to me was like if it's one way or another that means one of them are going for it. So
Yeah, we will see. And then for the TBS title, do you guys have any predictions of who they might? It's strange. I agree with everybody. I know they're going to do qualifiers, but they're not making a new champ till July 1st. Like, it's just strange to
that's
do like
after
another.
Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's strange to do like I know it's not a tournament, but still qualifiers are kind of like that. It's strange why we got the men's going, men's Owen, the women's Owen, and now we're gonna have like other tourney matches for that. I don't know. I have a pick. I don't know if she's gonna be back. If she's ready to go, I want to be Ruby Soho. I think that's a good way to return her, get her back. There's been
That'd be
rumblings
cool.
that she's been training. She had that gimmick where she was like she's lost like 85 million title matches where it was always like, oh, like we need someone to fight whoever had the title at that point, Jade Cargill again. We need someone to fight, Sheeta again, and it was always so. And they like heat her up, be like, oh yeah, and no one would ever believe it though. They do that fake heating up where they're like trying to tell you, oh, this is the time. She's never, and you have Excalibur like, she's challenged the title for 6 times and she's never won one, but tonight it's like, no, she's not gonna win it. But that's who I'm hoping. But I don't know. Look at those roster right now.
I mean, my pick would be Mina, of course, but I mean, I
course,
feel like they could give it to. I mean, people pitch like Queen Aminata. I'd be down with that. Like, she's always great and has never gone like a title run of anything really in AEW. Other people, I mean, those are kind of like the biggest names in that like mid card. I mean, you could give it to like a Windsor or something like that, like especially since she was going to be facing Willow. It wasn't for the title, but in the tournament. So you could put her in there, especially if she loses first round. She could then qualify for the survival of the fittest in the Owen. I mean,
no chance at Monet.
I've got 2 serious picks and 2 comedy picks of who I would want to win the TBS championship.
Okay, give us your serious ones first.
All right, so my serious ones would be Alex Windsor if she's going out in the first round with Hayter as the wild card, and then as you're saying, if they bring back Ruby Soho as a surprise by then, like cool for that. I think someone who would be absolutely fun with that belt would be Harley Cameron, because I think she's just hilarious in everything she does. Put a belt on her, and the promos that she would cut with that would be just absolutely great. And then Mina as well would be fun with the promos and the innuendos that she would do with her in the belt.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And for the match itself, I mean, I feel like they probably put, like, I feel like Billy Starks is probably going to be, like, in the match itself. I don't think she'll necessarily win, but especially with it being, like, the match type taken from ROH, it would make sense for her to be in there. I don't really know who would be, like, the 6 people. I mean, since it's after Forbidden Door, like, that same week, I could see, like, maybe one of the qualifiers being on the actual show, and it having someone like from Stardom or CMLL or something like that. And since it's the same week, they can probably wrestle on that Dynamite for the title. So I could see one of the spots being someone not from AEW who like we can't really predict.
Yeah. No, I could see that. That would make sense. Yeah. Like I said, my want would be Soho. I think you could always throw it to one of the other 2 Triangle Girl, like Madness Girls. Like they're just always an easy option. Julie's
they also
got it, or
teased
Sky
that
Blue,
like, did you see the segment with like Tekla and Sky Blue?
No.
It was like, because Sky Blue's in the tournament, and she
Yeah.
was like arguing with Tekla or like acting like, oh, I'm gonna win and take the title from you, and then it was just like fake, and then like Tekla hugged her and was like, oh, we'd never break up. But then at the end, like Sky and Julia were like kind of looking at the title still.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen at some point. I still think that could be whether you could. I guess if it's not here, you could do that story for All In. I don't know how that'd go. I think that's stuff you could do. With
Sky
Tekla.
Blue going all the way, just beating everyone.
You could eat her up.
Yeah.
You could eat her up. I'm saying Sky Blue's been popular before. She trends a lot on Twitter for different reasons. You could heat her up. That's who I want. I want my beast Marina Shafir to get it. Absolutely, get her. Just have her squash everybody.
She could be in the. Well, I saw a stat with Marina Shafir that shit's like she's never had a singles match longer than like some like number like 11 minutes or something.
Perfect.
Like that. Like yeah.
Multi-person, she can do that.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, multi-person I can see, especially like they've done like Survival of the Fittest. Sometimes they just do like normal, and sometimes it's like, oh, it's a 6-way. There's no. I mean, it's the same thing as like triple threats. Like half of the time, triple threats, like nobody uses anything, weapons or anything, despite it being legal. And then the other time, everyone's just like spamming chairs and tables and stuff like that. It's the same thing with the Survival of the Fittest. Like there'll be like totally clean ones, or like the one they just had on ROH with the women. There was like tables and like piles of chairs and stuff and ladders and stuff like that. So it depends on what type they're going for here. So
It would have been perfect if fucking Athena had lost their OH title and they could just put this on her. You know, it'd be great. Like, that'd be the perfect spot, but I don't think they're going to do
Yeah.
that. So if she's not the mystery person and she's not in this Survival of the Fittest thing, what the fuck is Monet doing? We're all in.
I don't know. I don't think nobody knows anything about what she's doing.
I'm getting worried, man. I'm getting
Yeah.
worried. I'm
Rumble 2027.
yeah, I'm getting worried. I actually do think, like, I know it doesn't make sense, but I think she's gonna win this Survival of the Fittest thing. I think what's gonna happen is,
Just
okay,
put
if
the
everything's
TBS
good,
title back on her.
Yep.
Like,
yep, I think that would be a
know.
Tony Khan thing to do. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it, but I think the reason why I could see it going is him being like, Willow's out. We lost Tony Storm. There's someone else too. I thought recently they lost in the women's division that was like of more note, but like. I'm trying to look and see here.
I mean,
thought-
her, like Mercedes.
Well, yeah, I guess her, right? Yeah, I guess that's just what I'm thinking of. To me, I could see them doing that, and also because then if Willow's good to go, that's an easy story for them to do. Because there's a chance we even thought that was happening already if Willow didn't win, but that's an easy story for them to do. Is hey, you won the title when I didn't have it. I'm gonna beat you, and it's like the rubber match. I'm not agreeing with that. I thought she was gonna win the Owen and versus Tekla, and I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's what Boo and company were talking about, where
Redemption.
somebody requests a
Or-
release that people
oh,
don't
yeah.
believe. You know, like, and I could believe that though. Someone tell me, but I just don't think she's going back to. I don't think so. I think it's all for nothing. And then the other mean pick, which I don't think, because this year made me a believer. Don't think it's impossible. I would not be surprised if there's a mystery entrance in that or whatever, and the fucking DMD Dr. Britt Baker makes a return. Because once Jericho came back, I thought, oh, Britt Baker is definitely on the table for a potential.
Yeah,
Do I
a
think
lot
it's
of
gonna
these
happen?
people who've been like off the. I mean, Anna Jay too, where it was like she was off TV for like
And now she's
like
back,
5 months, 6 months, and yeah, now she's like fully back.
Full
So, yeah,
tag
the-
team. They're
the
doing
DMD
segments.
DMD,
Yeah.
give her the title.
They could. They could. So, we will see. Anything else we talked about? Oh, do you got those draft points, S Bubs?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. We'll end on that. What we got going on here? Oh, and then, before you say, also
yeah.
my last point. Of course, Jericho's gonna fucking work with Ciampa. Ciampa, other than NXT
He
Black
saw
and Gold, his title
something
reign.
popular. He looked on
Yes.
Twitter, so he's getting the most likes. You know.
Other than his first title reign, that he had no music and just the booze, Ciampa's on the roll of his lifetime. That guy, I did not think when he came to AEW, I could believe you could put the world title on Ciampa and be believable. Now Jericho has to fucking work with them. Are you kidding me now? And he better,
And
doing,
picked.
doing the list gimmick too.
I like
on
that. I enjoyed
Collision,
it. I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Taking
He
it back to
better not be-
WCW.
He better not be fucking beating Ciampa. It just be a one and done and you move on. I don't need a 50-50. Come on now. God damn, Ciampa. But, Ciampa's still getting work, so good for him. But, yeah, what are the draft points, S-Buzz? This is a draft that we all picked. 10 superstars, 11 because our 11th one is our job for people that lose, but it's all of us getting points like a fantasy football based on wins, appearances, matches, title defenses, big wins, etc. What are we sitting at? Because last episodes I had quite a good lead on you guys. So
Yeah.
where's it sitting at now?
So I'll start with me. I'm at 33 points total. Still working the negatives I had, but I'm doing better than I thought. Some of these picks, it's going better than I thought they would. But then you have David at 109 points, and then you have Travis at 184 points.
Hell
Or actually, wait,
yeah.
I forgot some. I think it might be a little higher for
Okay.
some people, but yeah, those are the general points.
I like it. I dig it. So, yeah, we will see. So, yeah, we will be back at some point. We'll look up for the schedule. Next couple of weeks, we will do some sort of GM mode. I'll talk to the guys about that. And then we'll do probably, I think, middle of June, we'll probably do predictions for Forbidden Door and the Saudi show. And then we'll probably do a review the week after because with AEW being on the Sunday, unless it's somewhere that I don't know it's the middle of the afternoon, won't be that. We'll do it after the fact. So, look over those, and then, yeah, should be a good time the rest of the summer. We got SummerSlam coming up. We got All In coming up. Going to be some good shows, and I promise when you hear from us next, it will not be boring.